Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brine and Blight. This is an original Underwater Revolution Cypher System campaign. I did it! Woo!
Yeah!
Yeah! This is a world and story that has been lovingly crafted by TricksyWizard duo Trout and Adam. I almost called you Bonk. Oops.
I mean, it's about to be accurate.
We've all done it.
Single syllable. Yeah, I made it hard.
Yeah. Welcome on in, everyone. We want to give a real quick shout out to our Patreons. Thank you so much for all of your support. Because of you, we are able to do literally everything on this channel. 1-shots, 3-shots, marathons, campaigns, all that. Thank you for helping me pay my bills. I love you forever. If you want to find any of the previous episodes of this campaign, they are available on our YouTube as well as our other campaigns. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to reintroduce everyone at the table to you and have them tell you a little bit about who they're playing and where you can find them. We'll start off with Kappa. Kappa can unfortunately not join us tonight, but we miss them very much and we're thinking about him and we're thinking so many nice things about.
Like, it's out of control how many nice things I'm thinking right now that I can't say.
Yeah, that we can't say. Okay, moving on. Oh, wait. Hold on. Check out their links. Follow them. Follow them. Follow them.
They do cool stuff. They're awesome.
Yes. And Christian also plays Rusubi, a perceptive warrior that needs no weapon and sometimes is a squirrel.
And he's totally fine. Don't worry about him.
I'm so worried.
I'm so worried.
He's chill. He's completely chill.
Rusubi is kind of our glue a little bit. Really, I'm just kind of worried.
Moving on. Next we got Zach.
Hi, I'm Zach or Z. You can find me on Twitter at ZachDevs. Today I'm playing Calliope, the keen-eyed warrior? Sharp-eyed adept who fuses mind and machine. You know what it is? It's because usually Kappa goes first, Christian goes first, and warrior is in there. I'm playing the sharp-eyed adept who fuses mind and machine, the android, who's doing relatively okay right now. Mm-hmm. Not me, though. I have allergies.
I'm so sorry.
I'm done.
Okay. Next we have Jay. Jay.
Sorry, I was muted. I don't want to laugh too loud. Hi, I'm Jay. I play Bahari, a creative adept who exists partially out of phase. She's mostly the science research, like super huge nerd who has just wants to help everyone but doesn't always know how. And she's recently branched out into some offensive stuff. She's trying, so we'll see what happens with her. You can find me at Twitter on @JJustice on like basically everything. I do cosplay and game dev and all kinds of fun stuff.
Excellent, thank you. Oh, Jay's links are there in the chat as well. And then we're gonna hand it off to our duo. Sorry, I'll go first, that way it's less awkward. Hi, I'm Stella Luna. I'm so happy that you're here today. I'm so excited for today's episode. Today I'll be playing Berengaria. I'm a kind speaker who controls beasts, but actually asks them very nicely because their free will is very important to me. I'm Stella Luna, and welcome to my channel. If you want to support what we do here, please consider giving us a follow. That's a free way that you can get notifications for when we go live, and also, just make me happy. Okay, Trout.
Trout, go.
I am riding this energy, friends. Hi, I'm Trout. My partner Adam and I make TricksyWizard comics. I'll let Adam tell you more about that. But for tonight, I'm playing Bunk, brash sniper who's wanted by the law. They're a blue-tongued skink cowboy with cold blood and a heart of gold. It's a fun thing to play, and I'm very worried about them. Their mind score is pretty low, as is their might, and some things developed in the last session, so I'm very worried about what's about to happen to them. Adam, do you want to talk?
Oh yeah, no, we'll get to the things and the developments shortly. But hi there, I'm Adam. I'm the other half of TricksyWizard. Like Trout said, you can find us at TricksyWizard on all socials. TricksyWizard.com. We do comics, illustrations, art for TTRPG campaigns, and every once in a while, we apparently make card games now. We have a card game that we made in conjunction with Mage Hand Press called Witchy Cakes, which just had a successful Kickstarter wrapped up about a month ago. Really, really excited that project is coming to fruition. But yeah, I am going to be GMing the game here, so I suppose without any further ado, if we're all ready to go, let's resolve some week-long tension.
Would you say we are going to just dive right in?
We're going to dive right in. Yes.
How many
All
leagues
right.
deep shall we dive at? What is a league?
Yeah, I'm not like, define league again? Okay, no, we're good. We're good. All right.
Oh.
We return again to Marabas, the capital city of the illustrious and ancient aquatic kingdom of Sonaspar. Now fully 50 years into its occupation at the hands of the terrestrial Valthuran Empire. Recent weeks have seen the tenuous peace tearing at the seams as the sparks of revolution have finally begun to fly after a half-century's worth of exploitation. Specifically, we return now to the war-torn Dorsal district in the north half of town, a downtrodden and underserved community. Even in the best of times, now it's a debris-strewn battlefield as the workers' demonstration in front of the Metropolitan Coralite refinery that towers over the district has exploded into harsh retaliatory violence. Fresh off a pair of daring operations on opposite ends of the city, our fledgling freedom fighters regrouped just in time to rush to the scene of this wildcat strike, risking life and limb once more as they tore through an industrial slipstream beneath the city streets. They arrived to find the Dorsal district emptied. Dozens of children, elderly people, and other non-combatants holed up inside the Lonely Light, the neighborhood bar run by our hero's collective curmudgeonly aunt figure, Rhoda. And when they rushed to the refinery itself, they found it half dismantled, its walls and equipment stripped to form barricades and improvised weapons, as the beleaguered workers and their hundreds of local allies braced in their vast numbers for a full frontal assault by the gathering Valthuran security forces. Our heroes acted swiftly, splitting up to try and rally different segments of the crowd to actually leave, to take the fight to other districts in the full knowledge that the Empire's forces might be able to crush one large demonstration, but would be hard-pressed to crush 8 or 9 smaller ones. Bunk made contact with someone called Jetsam, an eelfolk leader of a local anarchist defense force called the Castoffs, and winning their trust, at least for the moment, coordinated with them to deploy cover for the retreating civilians. All seemed to be going well, and according to plan, as the Valthuran infantry broke against the immovable wall that is Risubi's crustacean mech, and toppled in the face of Berengaria's cavalry charge atop Soy Sauce, the grizzled old tiger shark. Bahari's clever use of volatile coralite crystals sowed panic among the enemy, and with a single well-placed shot from their sniper rifle, Bunk detonated the enemy tank's own internal ammunition banks, destroying the largest enemy target in a single blow. But the true fight had not even begun. For now, as dozens of reinforcements deploy from approaching Valthuran transport submarines, with a number of titanic hammerhead mechs among their number, and the infamous Commander Ludo Marianus spearheading the assault, the tides have definitively turned against our reckless rebels. So, we begin with our absent friend, as Risubi has just weathered a volley of concentrated small arms fire from an entire squad of Marines and come out with nary a scratch. But now, he's staring down the barrel of an anti-tank rifle wielded by the same hammerhead mech pilot that he had once sparred with in an underground fighting pit, to disastrous results. The hulking machine towers head and shoulders above Risubi's own impressive stature, its weapons fully charged for a point-blank shot. The pilot, over his sort of intercom speaker, snarls and says, "Oh, hey, Look who it is. I was hoping I'd see you again. I owed you for this. He gestures from within the cockpit down toward a spot on his mech's chassis where the armor plating is buckled in and scraped. The place where Risubi had in their first meeting planted a single devastating punch. Don't worry, we'll be square after this. And before Risubi can react, the massive rifle fires 3 bolts of coralite-infused plasma, which bore through the mechanical crustacean's shoulders and head, dealing a total of 18 points of damage. On the spot, Risubi collapses, smoldering and inert. Meanwhile...
We are 5 minutes in, Adam.
Meanwhile?
Yeah,
what?
meanwhile... For the rest of you, you can see above issuing silent orders by pointing his radiant scarlet blade of his bident spear towards priority targets. You can see Commander Ludo Marianus is directing fully half of his force of 12 hammerhead mechs to break off and chase down the splinter groups of protesters as they're tearing through the streets and alleyways of the dorsal district, swimming low and fast so as to break line of sight. He directs the remaining half to the refinery itself, and with cold military precision, they bear down on the structure. Hard light shields deployed in front of them. They're covering the advance of the marine infantry reinforcements with bolts of bright turquoise coralite plasma that sear swiftly overhead, ripping through the makeshift barricades on the far side of the battlefield. Berengaria, Bahari, Calliope, the 3 of you were in the midst of the crowd at various different positions. The crowd, which is even now rapidly thinning, as you all could hear the 3 shots ring out, and in the gout of roiling bubbles from the sort of snap boil on sight, you all can turn your heads around. You can even see at a distance here precisely where Risubi fell. Even if if you're kind of low to the ground, you probably can't see him precisely, but you can all see from just like the aftermath of the gunfire where he must have been. What do you do?
Bahari's having a panic attack and trying to decide whether to try to get over to Risubi, or if he got shot from that close, she knows that there's nothing she can do, but he would want her to help people.
I want to say as Z,
yeah,
this was going really well for a bit, y'all.
For a minute there, yeah.
Just for a second, we were doing great.
This yearbook energy we have about last session.
Remember last session?
Oh, we'll be friends forever.
Rode a shark.
Those halcyon days, yeah.
Okay, but Calliope is gonna rush over immediately to Risubi. And the other mech is still there?
So that hammerhead mech, you would be able to see this even at a distance. If your sort of like visual sensors, your internal scanner would be able to like pinpoint Valthuran technology even at a distance. So you would see as you're approaching somewhat stealthily, stick into the crowd, that mech, its target's been neutralized. So it lifts off the seafloor once again and powering up its maneuvering thrusters, continues its approach towards the refinery, kind of drifting about 10-15 feet off the seafloor. In its wake, though, as you approach, I will ask you to give me an intellect task roll here, difficulty 2, to see if you can kind of perceive something happening quickly enough to react to it. So target number 6, yes.
Okay. My edge has gone up, so I'm going to go ahead and use a level of effort.
Which only costs 1 now for you, is that correct? Only 1 point from your pool to do that?
I love the Cypher system.
Okay, taking that down. That's a success on a 13, easily beating the target number. Okay, so you can see, the sort of sensors pick up some very small, weak signatures, about half a dozen of them. And they are kind of attached to the belts of what look like combat engineers. There's a pair of them. They're not wearing any kind of like power armor or wielding any kind of heavy weapons. They're just like a couple of Valthuran Marines in full scuba gear who appear to be carrying some kind of specialized tech, and they are moving in the wake of that hammerhead. and they're kind of rushing in and brandishing these weird chrome discs like the size of like smoke alarms. And they begin dutifully attaching these to several points on the chassis of Risubi's mech suit. So you've closed the gap here. You're within kind of a short move if you want to interfere with whatever it is they're doing. This appears to be like standard procedure. I'll tell you, like, you succeeded well enough that like this looks like a salvage operation.
They're trying to take Risubi's mech. Okay.
Yes.
And oh crap. First thing is Calliope's going to get on the comm and say, Bahari, where are you?
I'm here. I'm in the crowd.
Okay. Is there any way that you can get me close to the mech?
All right. Where are you? Oh, okay. I see you. I'm gonna try. So, Bahari steps into another phase to move faster. So there's nothing.
Okay.
There's no obstacle when their people are not there. It's just one big far step to where Calliope is.
Right. So like kind of leaning into your ability to kind of exist mostly out of phase with this plane of existence. You're able to just
move
drift
faster.
Like a ghost, through the
Exactly.
crowd. Fantastic.
So cool.
You close the gap quickly. You get right up alongside Calliope. You can see pretty clearly here. It seems to be a somewhat involved process. Already another fire team of Marines with Coralite rifles have swum kind of like overhead and are like passing by. It seems like you're gonna have to pick your moment carefully if you want to go in and interfere with the salvage operation, but it is just the 2 combat engineers there, and they're just starting to affix the final few of these discs.
Okay, Calliope, what do you want to do?
I need to see if he's in there somehow. Can I use my scan?
You absolutely can. That's an activated ability that costs points, correct?
My scan does in fact cost 2 intellect points, yes.
But you have an intellect edge of 2, so it costs you nothing.
It costs me nothing.
You can scan for free now. Oh, I love this. Okay, so read again to me exactly what scan does for you.
Yes. You scan an area equal in size to a 10-foot cube, including all objects or creatures within that area.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
You immediately, you basically throw on, your Metroid Prime scan visor, and just, a bunch of, exclamation points just kind of flare up as sites of critical structural failure on the mech suit just kind of flare up. You kind of, shake your head. They all kind of, like hitting undo on an iPhone. They all just kind of fly away, and you focus in on the sort of center of the chassis. There is no sign of the real proper Risubi. The squirrel is nowhere in there. You can see that there's some kind of emergency eject function that rapidly forces open the chest cavity to the cockpit, and that appears to have been kind of welded open, as it must have taken place around the same time as the superheated Coralite plasma bored into the chassis, so he could be anywhere.
Calliope starts looking around. While Calliope is looking around, did they also see Ludo Marianus?
Ludo Marianus is, to give you all a sense of the battlefield here, there's the big, massive structure of the refinery, which looms over the northmost border of the district. Then there's this sort of empty sort of essentially almost like a parking lot in front of it that separates the grounds from the rest of the sort of residential areas of the dorsal district, and that's where the crowd had gathered, was in this large sort of relatively flat space. The Valthuran security forces had amassed on the east side of that space and were pushing in and turning towards the refinery. Overhead is where a lot of the transport submarines came in to drop those reinforcements, and in this sort of lead transport submarine, kind of if you imagine the cargo bay kind of opening on a ramp, standing on that is Marianus, high above everything. You can see the glint of his scarlet bident as he's just observing and surveying from above as the hammerheads are covering the push in to reclaim the refinery.
Yeah.
I'd say he's about 200 feet up.
Calliope, while they're looking around for Vesuvius eject pod, is gonna spots Marianus and says, Berengaria, check in.
I'm here.
Okay. Bunk?
I'm here. I'll lead some refinery workers away. I can double back and find y'all unless you want to leave now.
I think we should leave now.
Yeah. Calliope knows exactly what's going on with Bunk right now. Berengaria,
Yes.
I'm closer to Bahari. Can you meet with us in the middle?
Yes, of course. I'll be right there. And then you just see like soy sauce just whoosh forward.
Oh, just fishtailing. He's like,
I was
just
panicking.
Adam.
Yeah, like a rodeo. Like you absolutely watch his like back half, his tail fin just like smacks an infantryman in his visor and cracks it as he goes like corkscrewing through the water.
And then just peering from over the top. Hi.
Yeah, what's up with Bunk?
I'm watching all my friends find each other through my scope. I have not left.
You certainly have not. You're still perched up in your sniper's perch there. I will say, Bunk, yeah, you're kind of like keeping tabs on everyone from behind a barricade on the third story, which is very close to where you had first made contact with the sort of like the labor leaders and the cast-offs. Can you go ahead and roll an intellect task? This is just kind of general perception. It's only going to be difficulty 3, but it's already eased to 2 because you have the scope.
Thanks for that. My int is quite low. Can't really spend any more edge in that. So we'll hope that I can hit a 6.
Okay.
A 16.
Fantastic. Bunk, you can see Jetsam swimming at a dead sprint across this pockmarked battlefield, former parking lot. They're zigzagging between debris. They're ducking under the suppressing fire that's coming from the line of mechs. In a panic, you watch through your scope as they twist their wiry body around. They're now like swimming backwards. You can see like their eel tail is like still undulating, but they're like facing backwards. And for a moment, they're getting a bead on their pursuer. You can see that there's a UMA-13 Stingray drone, something that would be intensely, intimately familiar to Calliope, as these were the drones that were pursuing them through the MNBS station. It has a Stinger missile loaded and ready to fire. You watch this as you can tell me if you want to intervene at any point, but you do see Jetsam reaches back and they pull a small, like, drill-looking, like, device from a magnetic holster on the back of their belt, and pulling what looks like a ripcord. The drill spins to life. They aim this sort of makeshift torpedo, and they let it fly. It's a crude device, but a clever one. You can see through your weapon scope as the drill seems to home in on the drone as though by a magnetic attraction, and on impact, it begins viciously shredding through its armor, just rending asunder until its vital systems are exposed. However, it is still active, and its laser sight has Jetsam targeted.
Am I still pretty well hidden right now?
You would be giving away your position if you were to try and fire. However, you would know, given your run-ins with various Valthuran systems and your expertise with salvage of all sorts of junk, that these Stinger missiles that this thing fires, I mean, they're anti-personnel. They could take out a half dozen targets.
I, for a minute, swivel the scope up to Luno Marianus. And then swivel it down to the drone, and I'll fire.
Okay. The drone has a speed defense as a level 4 creature, so this is going to be a level 4 speed-based attack task. Target 12.
If I'm giving away my position, let's lower it. Why not? So you said I'm going to spend a point of speed to take that down to a difficulty 2.
3. It goes
3.
4,
Sorry, my
now it's
bad.
3.
Yep. Cool. Let's do it.
Okay. 9 or higher will do it.
An 11 for a success.
Whew. All right, a success on an 11. Tell me what this looks like as you take this shot that definitively destroys the drone.
Bunk has kicked off with their spurs on their cowboy boots are little propellers, so they have the drone in scope. They will kick off with their boot against a rock they're balanced against and propel themselves belly flat on the ground forward, midair shooting and trying to stay really low and glide like a manta ray towards another hiding spot on this rock face.
Oh, fantastic. It's all too sudden and soft and silent almost as the bolt pierces through the exposed vital systems of like the ripped apart hull of this drone. It's like there's the impact, it's kind of muted, it kind of goes off kilter, and then there's sparks, and then this sort of smoke that goes liquid as it integrates into the seawater around, and then it just kind of like a puff more than an explosion as it breaks apart and drifts in like 4 or 5 major pieces to the seafloor. And Jetsam is, for the time being, safe. Do you give any kind of signal to them, or are you just hoping that they'll go off their own way?
I'm hoping they know to run away because there's not only one drone here, and immediately the scope goes back to check on where my friends are and then back up to Marianas.
Okay. Checking on your friends here, you can see the 3 of them still kind of gathered near each other. Bahari and Calliope, Bahari's just come up next to Calliope, and Berengaria is just like blitzing across the battlefield holding on to Soy Sauce, who is just reveling in the chaos. As the 3 of you regroup, what's the move? Are you going to make any attempt to try and stop the salvage of Risubi's mech suit, or are you going to try and safeguard yourselves? What's the plan?
Calliope's gonna say, once we're all 3 together, the military is trying to salvage Risubi's suit. I can't find him. He must have ejected somewhere. He might be safe. I don't know, but we don't have time to find out. I
hope he's safe, but I don't know I don't think it's possible for us to get that big suit out of here without getting targeted ourselves, and I don't think he'd want us to die to save it.
What if we don't try to save it? And instead we just make sure they don't get it.
Want to destroy it?
Yes. I think that's the best idea.
Okay.
I would like to do something. I have an ability called Understanding. You observe or study a creature object. Your next interaction with that creature object gains 1 asset.
Ooh.
Okay.
So that's gonna cost 1, and I have an edge of 1 in intellect, so it's free.
Okay, cool. Okay.
I would like to study those discs.
Okay.
I stare with my glowing, bright, like they're unusually large, right? Just frighteningly large and bright blue eyes. Just kind of blink, blink, and look over at the discs.
So, this looks like a much nicer, newer version of technology that you would be familiar with around the Academy of Schoolmasters. Effectively, what these discs do is once they are placed at several sort of equal ballast points, they're activated simultaneously and use an electromagnetic field to simulate anti-gravity. Effectively, it creates perfect buoyancy and allows a sort of remote operator to cause these as a unit to kind of glide. Basically, it's like used for cargo movement. Like it's basically like what you'd use to move like pallets, shipping containers. It's a similar sort of thing. They're attaching these onto specific points to activate them so that they will be able to remotely control and drift away with Risubi's suit.
Those discs. I've seen them being used by the Valthurans over near the academy. I believe they stick like remoras to the sides of something, and they work together with some kind of science, and they'll basically be able to move it. I think we have to strike there, or
Okay.
Okay, so if we take out their disc, they won't be able to move the suit themselves, and they'll just be stuck here for a bit. But I have to imagine they have a backup for if the discs fail.
Calliope is going to just put like a hand on each of their shoulders. Have you two got this? Don't take too long. If it takes too long, just get out, all right?
All right.
Where are you going?
I have to go get Bunk.
Okay. Yes. Do
I'm
that.
I have a
fine,
feeling
Calliope.
Bunk's not going to be easy to get convinced to leave.
Calliope, I left already. I'm with other people down the street. I'm fine. Help the others get out of here.
That doesn't sound very convincing, Bunk.
Ooh.
Bunk switches off their comm.
Oh,
Yeah, there it is.
Bunk! Calliope, you should go.
Yeah.
We got this.
Do you
Okay, stay
want
on
soy
comms.
sauce?
No, thank you.
Oh,
No,
I
I'm
put away
good.
my bottle of soy sauce. No, do you want the shark to go with
The
you?
shark. Keep the shark with you. They could be important for the mission, but if anyone gets hurt, flash on comms and I will come and help you, alright?
Okay.
Okay. Calliope's gonna zoom away from them towards Bunk's location.
Okay, your last known. So, you all would have known and seen Bunk swim up towards the refinery itself.
Yeah,
They
and
made
Calliope
no
helped,
secret of that.
Calliope helped them shoot the tank.
That's
with
right. So
some-
you knew,
some
like, you
munitions.
triangulated their position. So yeah, you
Yeah.
could go basically directly there. That's going to take a little bit of time. We're going to
Yeah.
resolve first what happens with Berengaria and Bahari here. As the two of you are kind of like facing down, is you're watching basically as the two engineers kind of step back, and one of them starts typing some things in on his wrist-mounted computer that all these sort of Marines have, and you can see like this thrumming happening as there's like a electric field kind of starting to form between the different nodes.
Okay, so if we disrupt that field, they may not be able to get his mech out of here at all. What do I have in my many pockets? Starts reading around, pulling out snacks.
Oh, I can help you carry some of that.
Thank you. Let me see. I've got a little bit more core light, but we don't want to blow it up, or do we want to blow it up?
I mean,
What would Christian want?
Whatever it
I don't
is,
know.
he'd want it to
We
be in
mi-
that one for us.
We might be able to repair his mech. We shouldn't just destroy it unless it's the only way. I don't know.
I'll tell you right
Maybe-
now, the insight you'd have after observing the situation for some time is like they're basically ready to go with this right now. Like you wait another like 6 to 10 seconds and they're going to start moving deeper into enemy lines. If you're going to make a move, like this is kind of the last resort moment.
Okay,
Well,
all right.
If you think they have a backup plan, then you know what would work in making the backup plan not even work? If we take them out.
Oh, so I was going to attack the technology. You want to fight them? I don't.
I mean, I don't really want to fight. I'm like holding
Me
my
either, but
whalebone
let's
staff
just
and
blow
it's
up
got
their
like
stuff. Bahari
blood
just
on
throws
it.
them like a correlite at the force field.
Yes.
Oh, incredible. Is this happening right now? Okay. You're using it as
Blow up their stuff. Throws
So-
the caltrops.
Jay, how many more like crystals of just sort of like raw crystalline coralite do you have access to?
She had 5 left, so she just threw all 5 of them at the machine. It was
Okay,
too
I was gonna
stressful
say-
arguing. We didn't know how much time we had left.
Yeah.
I was straight up. I'm just going to tell you right now. I was going to say if
Uh-oh.
you had thrown one, it was going to be a certain difficulty task, and then for each additional one you threw, it was going to take that task down. A level,
Oh,
basically.
no. Oh, no. Oh
So it was
dear,
gonna
what did
start
I
off-
just do?
It was going to start off as a level 6 task. It's like this would be extremely it would have to be your positioning would have to be exact. Like you'd have to get the arc of the throw just so, and then like the detonation would have to happen with like the right angular velocity. But you threw 5 of these, so this is a difficulty 1.
Oh boy.
So give me a might task difficulty 1.
Can I interject here?
Yes.
So with my understanding ability, we gain 1 asset.
Yes.
Oh!
You do not have to
So
roll.
it's free.
Oh,
You expend
Okay.
all your remaining Coralite reserves
Yep,
to
I have
toss
none
a
left.
cluster of caltrops, basically.
Yeah.
Describe what happens to me, because you effectively, I'm going to tell you right now, the outcome of this mech and both of those combat engineers are gone.
Oh no! Bahari becomes a murderer by accident.
You gotta get on the board. Listen, Mari, I'm alone right now.
Stressed out, and we didn't know what to do. We were running out of time, so I just threw them, and then unfortunately, they interacted with the field of corrupted Coralite that powers each and every one of the discs, and it created some kind of a negative feedback where the energy just kind of sucked inward for a moment. And Berengaria, you feel something strange happening to the Coralite around you, and it's like it's not good. It feels bad. You're like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden,
Oh.
and then everything that gets sucked inward slowly pulses out, and then there's a weirdly contained dark explosion around Misubi's poor mech suit.
Like a point, like almost like a singularity, just kind of
Yes!
and it like smashes shut.
Bahari, not again!
Yeah, what you've done
what do you
is
mean again?
this is the alchemical equivalent of just like tossing like a fork into a socket, like an outlet. like you've basically
overdid
thrown.
it.
You've taken like a superconductor in the form of this like scientific grade raw coralite. This is like a miracle fuel for all kinds of electronics and weaponry,
Pretty much.
and you've just thrown it into the middle of an active electrical like alchemical field, and it's just like the detonation is. I mean, I think it's about 7 feet in diameter when it reaches its peak, and then smashes shut into just like a singular point, and everything that was there is just gone.
It's gone.
Well, at least you didn't miss.
No, I think it's time to go though. Swim.
Wait, just hold on to soy sauce.
No, let's get out of here.
Let's go. No.
Adam.
Yes.
Okay, so I've been slowly moving my way higher, like crawling on my belly, trying to get up as close to Marianas as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Are our comms only able to speak to everyone in the group, or can I call one person?
I don't think we've established that yet, but I would imagine since Risubi actually ended up using a cipher to like improve the quality of your intercom like across your team like several sessions ago, I say that included in that, sure, the ability to open up like a private channel to like a one-to-one.
I would like to call Berengaria.
Okay.
As I'm slowly inching belly-wise up as high as I can get so that I'm within range.
Okay.
Barry, you there?
Oh, Babunk? Is that you?
Yeah, I'm here. You safe?
Yes, we are currently speeding away on the back of soy sauce. Yeah.
I made a promise I gotta keep now, Barry. I don't want a lie to be the last thing you hear from me, so just in case this doesn't go well.
What do you mean, last thing? Bunk, what are you doing?
I made a promise to my father's bones to kill the man what killed him.
Oh.
And that man is here. There's a lot of things I wish I had said. I wish I had said when we met on the train. I guess I just thought I had more time.
Well, do you have to do it right now? Do you have to complete your promise right now? We could join forces, work together. We're stronger together.
I don't know if the new Sonaspar is for me, Berengaria. But I don't think that there's going to be a better tomorrow for Sonaspar without you in it. So I'd rather you be far from here.
Well, I'd rather be with you, Bunk. We've been through a lot together, and I don't think I'm ready to say goodbye to you.
And let's just not say goodbye. And I'll do my best.
I'll chase you down.
Barry.
I've gotten very good at doing that.
Too good. You're nothing but trouble.
I'll hunt you down, Bunk.
Barry, I'm gonna destroy this comm so they can't use it to find you, just in case it goes poorly. But I just want to say that
And Calliope, go ahead and give me a. You can go ahead and scan, I think, here, and just let's make it a difficulty 3 intellect task to see if you can triangulate the movement of where Bunk has moved to from their original perch.
You hear I don't know, you probably hear it loud enough, like Calliope just shoulder check a door to burst it open. Difficulty 3? Yeah,
so effort. A 9 or higher means you're there.
We're using effort.
Yes.
Ooh, fail.
Oof, okay. There's a Bunk, you hear a door fly off its hinges 1 floor above you.
Calliope, you do hear Calliope like, Bunk? And you hear muttering like, where is that sneaky lizard?
Meanwhile, Bahari and Berengaria, the two of you on the back of soy sauce, rocketing away. You have thus far been able to stay low and swift enough to escape much of the notice of the advancing Valthuran forces, which seem primarily concerned with recapturing the facility, and you're moving away. However, as that singularity that swallowed up their salvage operation and those who were conducting it, that's put a bit of a target on your back.
Okay.
At the same time, like several bolts of turquoise coralite plasma just comes firing overhead. You're staying low enough to be out of like immediate danger weapons range, but you do see that they're just like, it's literally like falling stars 10 feet over your head. And I'm going to make a bit of a GM intrusion here. So an XP to each of you. As one of those bolts grazes a silo of unrefined coralite that is placed outside the refinery near one of the reactors. And I'm going to need you to figure out with me here, how do you avoid the imminent explosion?
Oh boy. Let's see. So, there's... what can we do?
I can try to ask it to stop. That's the extent of my skill right there.
Oh boy, I'm trying to figure out if any of my other abilities can do anything to help us not die. Hold on.
Unless you can leverage some other abilities or
there might be
ciphers or
I
something.
have to double check something.
Yeah.
Where's my notes?
The only thing I can think of, so I have something called karma, where people are just nicer to me. I like kind of look over my shoulder.
You're using people very loosely today.
I look over my shoulder at the person who fired, and I give them really sad puppy eyes, like, please stop. Don't do that.
But
It's
not them,
gonna
though.
help
It's
with the
thing it's about-
explosion.
No, I'll tell you. As a free action, you make them feel extra bad.
Okay.
Like they're like,
great.
Thank you.
You can see that. You see them
They feel
wincing.
real
They're like,
guilty.
ugh! Like they're already gonna get a talking to because they received specific orders not to damage like company property. But
Ooh,
like,
yeah, that sucks for them, but
Right.
also crap.
I did my part.
I'm trying. Hold on.
You did it.
Oh no. I'm trying to figure out if my ability is helpful. Okay, here we go. Let me see. Damn it! No, it only works on willing creatures. Okay.
okay,
Like,
okay.
'cause okay.
Does anyone have any
Ooh.
ciphers left?
I use mine. I can't help them.
I think I have one that I didn't use. Let me find it. Yes, I. Okay, if I can have both myself and Bahari, Berengaria, and Soy Sauce can like exit phase for a second, and it can pass through where we were. That is something that can happen.
Is that an activated ability that costs points to use, or is that the cipher?
Okay, so the way that her far step works is that we move quickly, but I'm not sure if we're trying to move ahead or just like not be in the space where it's happening. Are we still like trying to get away from the center of the city?
You are like, this thing grazed this silo as you were right next to it.
Oh, okay. So all we have to do is just move faster than the
If you
explosion.
book it,
basically.
you could potentially get. Yeah, the explosion is about to happen. We've frozen time in the sort of like second and a half before ignition.
Oh yeah, then I'm gonna use an intellect point. And we're gonna far step the fuck out of here.
Okay.
I was like, I just don't understand.
So spend your intellect point.
Yeah.
You all gain an asset that lowers the difficulty of this speed defense roll.
Okay.
It was going to be a difficulty 5. It is now going to be a difficulty 4 speed defense task. Yes?
Yeah, 'cause I was like-
Can I request that the big giant tiger shark we're riding as
Also
an asset?
is an asset.
Oh
Yes,
yes,
you know what?
Yes, yes, he is.
How could
right.
I forget? Okay, so with the twin assets of you're already on a swift swimming animal, and now all of you gain the benefits of this sort of like half, like basically like no friction can affect you as you like you give
Literally,
like a 10%
we're
phase.
getting
to
out of
each
here.
So let's count those as 2 assets that'll ease the difficulty from 5 to 3. You have to hit a 9 or higher each, or you're going to have some consequences.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Here we go.
Swim.
Yo.
Swim.
Swim real fast.
Oh my god, I rolled a 9.
On the money. Okay.
I rolled 20.
20.
Let's go.
We're gonna live.
Danny be praised. Okay.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank
you, Danny.
Thank you, Danny.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a major effect. What's another thing that you would like to put you in an advantageous position in addition to the 3 of you escaping unharmed?
Oh, this was my idea. So Bahari has no more of the core light from work. However, this is unrefined. So she was gonna be like, I can't stop the explosion, but I can pulls out electromagnetic netting. I can grab some as we go by.
That's pretty dope, Adam.
I'm gonna say yeah, absolutely. You go,
That way we can replenish the stock of Coralite, and it is fresh and it's
you
being neutralized
salvage.
because it's passing through the filter that she had, so it won't blow up.
You basically like this is so the way it works at the refinery is that the Coralite arrives unrefined in solution. After being drilled up through from the depths of the surrounding reefs. So there's a drilling operation somewhere that basically like bores into some kind of substructure that lies underneath the magical reefs of Sonaspar, tapping into some kind of like life essence that they're connected to or that they generate. And then that sedimentary solution is then piped into these refineries. So you basically using that net like kind of auto filter like crystalline residue. You get like the sediment out from that. I'm going to say that equates to effectively one more sort of dose of like refined correlite or like pseudo refined crystal. It's not going to be like immediately as explosively effective as the sort of like,
I have to work on
grade.
It. But
yeah, but
I now have the raw stuff to work with.
That rules. Yeah, dope. Okay, so the two of you on soy sauce just like rocket away. Bahari has something in her pocket for everything. And so Calliope, you as yet have not found Bunk. Go ahead and give me one more difficulty 3 intellect task to see if you can track them down. But basically what happens is regardless, Bunk, you're going to get a turn unhindered without anyone giving you
I
any
would
go.
really like a little bit of that that look real quick. If you want to send it my way. Let's use an effort.
Okay, taking that down to 2.
Okay.
All right, on an 8, you succeed. That's remarkable. Good thing you used that effort. That is one shy of what would have failed had you not. So, okay, on an 8, that means that you are, after this 1 turn's worth of actions, going to stumble upon Bunk. Bunk, you know Calliope is looking for you. You can hear them muttering 1 floor above you. You've got Marianus in your sights. You have swum down into like into kind of like an overhang of like partially collapsed ceiling. People are scattering everywhere. The din of the crowd is it's a cacophony. Like you can see that there are people getting like as the basically the infantry is moving into the point now where they're amongst the rest of the crowd, and some of them are breaching into the facility where the sort of more entrenched laborers are kind of trying to figure out escape or whether they're going to try and hold down and try and like fight their way out. It's desperate. It's a desperate situation here. People are already in the midst of like maybe being detained. What's your move?
How far am I from Luda Marianus?
So you basically you swam like up to a point higher than you were before to try and close the distance, right? Okay. He's about 200 feet off the ground.
Like a Lion King Pride Rock looking thing, like where I can lay belly flat.
I know it's a long range weapon, but your sniper rifle also has like an effective range, right? That's like.
Yeah, I think it's 50, 100.
Yeah, it's not as strict in Cypher as it would be in like 5e, but I think there's like, I would say you're still within range, but it's going to be hindered 1 step to try and hit him from here. So
what if I'm not trying to hit him, but use the force of the weapon to propel me towards him at high speed?
You would have to, I would say, you want to rocket jump like this.
I would like to rocket
Fortress
jump,
right now.
like Team Fortress with the spear out towards Luda Marianus.
That's ridiculous enough that of course, I love it. This is going to cause, you're basically going to have to discharge your entire ammunition clip.
I'm willing to sacrifice the entire gun to make this work.
And you're basically going to turn it into like a jet exhaust beam.
Yeah, I'm going to basically hold it next to me and fire it directly at the ground at my foot, kicking the stirrups into gear at the same time and try and spear out, launch directly towards his face.
You're about 100 feet away at this point.
Damn.
I mean, like, he's like 200 feet off the ground. You're like...
But I have been climbing, and he was 200 when I was down there, so I assumed I was getting a little
No, he was 200
closer.
off the ground. So, like, you're like, at this point, like 4 or 5 stories up, I would say... You could close the gap, but not attack in this turn. You could basically make yourself present in front of Marianus, like if you wanted to do that. And it would still require a roll because this is not like a normal function that your gun is like a roll or your gun is like out of commission and requires repairs.
Yes. I will take the comm device out of my ear and I will crush it in my hand so it cannot be used to track my friends, just in case. And I will ready my weapon at my feet.
Okay.
The spear of the Salamandrin is out. And before I fire, let my blade draw the water from your blood in the name of the desert what bore me. And I fire the rifle directly at the ground, trying to launch myself towards Ludomarianus.
I'm going to say this is actually an intellect roll. Because
Oh,
you have to
no.
basically get the angle just right. You got to get the angle just right. You have to have understood how to mess with the settings on this very unique, bespoke firearm to turn it into effectively, like, to vent, correlate, exhaust with enough force to move you, to get you, like, the momentum you need. This is a difficulty 5 intellect task.
Okay.
Failure will blow out the gun, basically.
Okay. If I take my int to 0, am I still able to fight?
So...
Actually, I could do a quick rest. I've just been up here, right? Like...
Oh, you haven't used your first rest of the day, right?
Mm-mm.
So yeah, that just takes 1 round. So...
I mean, I've
if
been
you did
climbing,
that-
doing nothing else. Yeah.
I'll say if you use that rest, you might have to do... I will say we'll rule this that, like, Calliope will have an opportunity to try and intervene.
That's amazing. Let's do that. That's just fun.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a d6 plus 1 and restore that many points to... in any way you want to your pools.
That is a 5, so I'll get 6 points back to intellect
Okay?
for a total of 8, and now I will be using effort. So I'll
Okay.
take that back down to 2, lower the difficulty to 4.
Bunk takes 10 seconds to steady themselves, to clear their mind. You could hear just like a droplet of water hitting the surface of a pond as like you calm yourself. Calliope, you take this moment of hesitation is just long enough for you to burst into the chamber where there's kind of it looks like a balcony now surrounded by rubble. This clearly was like an office on like the 5th floor of the refinery, but the wall's been like blown out and dismantled. You can see Bunk standing there, their eyes closed. They have their sniper rifle down at like a weird angle, and you can see like there's something weird about the signature coming off of its like the accrued energy in its ammunition tank.
Calliope stands upright and takes a little bit of debris out of their shoulder and says, I hope I'm not interrupting.
Can I even hear them?
In this moment, you get the vague sensation, I will say. You hear them, but whether or not you understand, like really hear them, listen to them, that's up to you. You're kind of in your own world at this point.
So basically, like, I wasn't able to fully break the comm. It's like coming through really scratchy, sort of like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, oh, no. They're in the room.
Because Calliope is right there.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure how this was working with underwater.
No, they're
Cool,
literally
cool.
like 15 feet away from you. They've just sprinted into the room behind you. So
Leave it, Calliope.
What am I leaving?
Damn it. I'll turn to look at them. You of all people should know exactly what this is. You've watched me do it before.
I know. And I saw him.
Then I don't really know what we're talking about here.
We're talking about you, Bunk. Right now, there are people that need our help. And they need our help today, and they need it tomorrow. We have the torch to worry about. There's a lot that needs to be done, and you need to be there.
This is the only reason I came back. I cannot suffer that man to live. I can't. I'm not one of your good people. I told you I couldn't be the face of this. This is all I am. The Salamandrin end with me, and they end when I kill that man, and all purpose has been fulfilled.
Calliope swims over and looks down at the gun and frowns and says, Bunk, I don't believe you. I don't believe that you're not good. I can't believe that because I have to believe there's something here for both of us. I see in you something. You came for a reason. You're doing something good for people that aren't you. And I have to know that I can do that too. I have to believe in it because I need to believe that I'm not just what they made me. And I think the same for you, Bunk. I think you're more than just a gun.
But I don't want to be more than just a gun. I don't want to have to figure out who I am after I kill him. I just want to kill him. It's not fair for you to tell me that's not enough now.
You want to kill him?
I do.
Okay. But you're not doing it alone.
Bunk.
Yeah.
Calliope. You understand the gravity of what you're about to undertake. Tell me how you do it.
I was going to overload the gun to propel me up to him. I don't know if it can lift us both, and frankly, I don't know if it would sit right in my soul if you died for my revenge. You're, of course, more than what they made you, Calliope. Every good kind thing you do for people in the name of a better world is proof that you do not serve Valthur. You don't have to do this. Not for me.
I'm not going to lose you again. To my own cowardice. To nothing.
You weren't a coward. You weren't. You just didn't want to hurt people. That doesn't make you wrong. We just found different ways to help.
I agree. And I can't do anything if I can't help my friends. So if I can't convince you, and I can't drag you away from here, then we're going together.
I wasn't supposed to make any friends. But if I let Ludo Marianus kill you too, then I'm as selfish as the ones that took my father's life, took Captain Pollux's life, and took my life. I cannot let you do that. You must promise me that his day will come before this is over. And you must promise that I'll be alone, because it has to be my revenge, Calliope.
Someday, soon, you will kill Ludo Marianus. But you need to survive until then. And afterward.
I'll live today for you. And for them, the rest of them. Damn all of you for making me care.
Thank you. Ridiculous idea, by the way. With the gun.
It was going to look spectacular.
Even if it had worked, I'm sorry, not to like break the fourth wall here.
Who the hell are you?
Yeah, no.
God?
I am actually going to make a GM intrusion, though. Because as the two of you come to this understanding, staring at each other, kind of floating about 15 feet apart through this, toppled over, half dismantled, corner office, another stray bolt from one of these hammerhead mechs. They are not precision weapons, and their deployment here smacks of a little bit of desperation. Sears into the support beams overhead, and a massive slab of stone and wrought steel collapses and is going to break into the floor. I
would like to shove Calliope out of the way.
Okay, great. So you each take 1 experience point, and I'm going to need Calliope to figure out how you're contributing to this. Bunk, that is going to be that's a speed task.
Thank goodness.
If you want to completely remove Calliope from harm, that means crossing 15 feet and shoving them out of this room entirely.
I have the gun overclocked. I shoot myself towards Calliope instead.
Okay.
I love that
turns this
so
back
much.
that turns this back into a level 5 intellect task.
I'm going to help because I am now an expert at catching quick moving friends.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Yeah, you can definitely give the help action here. That'll lower it to 4. Honestly, the fact that it's no longer a 100-foot gap, I'm going to say is going to ease it by a step 2. So this is difficulty 3 intellect, target number 9 to see if you can escape this.
I would also like to use some effort here to lower this by 1 more, if you don't mind.
You can go ahead and expend that effort. I'm going to tell you right now, this choice you are making will make sure that Calliope takes no damage. You are not guaranteed that.
That was always the plan through all of this. Yep. All right. Cool. So we're at difficulty 2 now, right?
Yep, you've lowered it from 5, 4, 3, 2, basically, through circumstances changing and assets and help being applied.
Come on, Bunk. That's a 19.
Okay. Now, normally what a 19 does is, you get a minor effect in combat, or you deal 3 more damage. I'm going to have this deal 3 less damage to you now, as you are only going to take 3 points of damage to your might pool, as you take instead, just you're so quick, your wits are about you.
The gun is still on the ground. I'm going to swivel around with the gun, using the gun to spin myself around and fire backwards towards Calliope instead.
Your instincts are good. You calculate just by instinct the angle just so. Only a single sort of slab of sharpened stone and split metal scrapes across your right shoulder blade as you tackle both of you out of the room. And that entire office starts to crumble. You can hear that same voice, that same sort of regional security force commander over the loudspeaker, please refrain from firing upon the facility. The day is won. Refrain from firing on the facility. As the two of you kind of tumble back out into the hallways here.
So 3 damage to my might, Adam?
3 damage to your might pool.
Ouch.
Can I use my healing touch real quick?
Your healing touch. Oh, interesting. Yeah, as the two of you are starting to kind of make your way out of the building here, I can say you're kind of at a rush, but yeah, you can go ahead and make use of that ability. Remind me how that works again?
Restore 1d6 to 1 stat pool. This is going to be for Bunk's might. This difficulty 2 intellect task.
Fantastic, yes. I love this ability. It gets harder every time you try and successively use it on the same person in the same day, right? That rules. Okay, yeah. Level 2 intellect task to see if you can kind of patch them up a little bit as you're kind of trying to figure your way out through this crumbling labyrinth of a refinery.
Yay. Success.
13. Perfect. How much do I get back?
Oh, 1d6. I'll roll that for
Ooh.
you. 2 might task.
I'm at full. So that's literally what I needed to be back up to full.
While we're swimming out, Calliope's arm turns into a suture tool and simultaneously sanitizes and sutures the shoulder.
Now you're just showing off.
So that recovers all but 1 of the points you lost, is that correct?
No, all of them. I'm back to full.
Wait,
I
was it
believe.
one?
Oh wait,
Wait,
hold on.
who's-
Sorry, I didn't subtract enough. So I'm at 10, not 11. Perfect.
Okay, yeah, so -3 + 2. Okay,
Mhm.
perfect, yeah. Well, all right, that could have gone a lot worse for you. Fantastic. All right, everybody. At this point,
What?
like, the gunfire has somewhat ceased, but the Valthuran forces have moved completely on the refinery, and they are beginning to, like, you can hear the two of you, Calliope and Bunk, you're in the building, you can hear, like, the chatter as just, like, different squads and fire teams are kind of swimming up, basically, you know, like issuing orders, deploying out in different formations on different floors, trying to clear out and occupy the facility. You've got to figure out a way out. As Berengaria Bahari on soy sauce is back here, you've escaped that explosion, but you still have, I'm gonna make a roll. Hold on. I know I'm not supposed to make rolls in this game, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
What are you doing?
Oh.
Okay. I was gonna say,
What's
evens
this?
and odds. You have 2 hammerhead mechs that are bearing down on you now.
Oh.
Come on.
You have proven to be extremely unique, high priority targets. You took out an entire salvage operation. You have access to unknown technologies. You're responsible for like personnel loss, and also, I mean, you're riding a giant shark. So there's going to be 2 of these mechs. You outspeed them, but I am going to let each of them take a single shot at you. So, you're going to be able to kind of outstrip them, but both of them are going to make a full round of attacks. They are at far enough distance that the speed defense is going to be eased 1 step. However, they can fire 3 times each.
Oh, great.
So I need each of you, including soy sauce, to make 2 speed defense rolls, difficulty, so it's eased 1 from the base, sorry, difficulty 5. So 2 difficulty 5 speed defense tasks to avoid incoming damage.
Just gonna curl up like a little flauta. All right, here we go.
See, like a flauta.
Yes.
I love that.
Oh man.
It's-
What if
It's hard being a big target.
What if we just like stop moving? They can't see us, right?
Hmm?
Like dinosaurs?
Like a T-Rex.
Like a
Oh,
T-Rex.
yeah. Oh, you think these are
Completely
human pilots?
still.
These are human pilots making use of high-tech
Tragically.
targeting equipment. I'm gonna say
Curses.
that's not advised.
No.
All right, we'll
it's
keep
not.
moving. Okay.
Doggone it.
Oh my god, this is gonna be terrible, y'all. Okay.
It really is.
So we have to make 2 rolls.
Yep.
2 speed defense rolls, difficulty 5 each, to basically prevent you from taking this incoming damage.
Okay.
As like both of them are like they're using their maneuvering thrusters to basically like they're moving, you know, like you're swimming along at like, you know, the equivalent of like 25 miles an hour on the back of like a speeding shark.
So it's
They
gonna be
can't
tough for them to hit us. Yeah.
Yeah, so normally these would be difficulty 6. These are
Yeah.
like base difficulty 6 creatures.
Okay.
These mechs are. So like you're already getting like the difficulty eased for that. But yeah, they have these like railgun like sort of like harpoon tipped anti-tank guns that are firing these like high caliber beams of coralite plasma.
Okay. So I would like to use effort. I have edge and speed, so it's only gonna cost me 2.
Love it. I'll take it down to 4.
Okay.
And this-
then we're
this is
on
for the
the
first
back
roll.
of soy sauce.
I'm gonna say that your speed due to being on soy sauce was the asset I gave you.
All right.
Taking it down from 6 to 5.
Okay.
Okay. So I will
Go ahead.
Okay, so 5 with 1 effort for me.
Oh no!
Okay, so that's 1 failure, and then the second one here.
Okay, I will also use my speed here.
Okay, another level of effort to lower this to another difficulty 4.
Okay, that's a success.
17.
Okay, so you only got
Okay.
hit once.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Single hit. A glancing blow. These are like massive like pillars of gunfire, basically. These laser like beams scorching into your shoulder, like your left shoulder into your neck. You take 6 points of damage to your might score.
I have one might left.
Oh god.
Okay.
Okay.
I need 2 rolls from Bahari now.
Okay, so this is the first time Bahari's actually been shot at the whole
Yeah.
time. Because the last time Bahari took damage, it was from hitting the walls inside that tube thing. So this didn't come into play. Bahari actually has a ward, which is a shield of energy that helps deflect attacks. So
Yes.
the other thing didn't count as an attack. That's why I didn't bring it up.
This rules.
So it says
Okay,
I gain +1 to armor.
Okay. Oh
Okay.
yeah. And just making sure. Does
Yes.
Berengaria have any kind of armor score?
No.
Forgot to ask that.
Okay.
Oh.
So does Bahari have a base armor score that just increases by 1, or does it go from 0 to 1?
It goes from 0 to 1. She had nothing else. This is just
So
the one
for
thing.
both of these
the one
attacks-
defensive thing I gave this guy.
Yeah.
Damn it.
This ward is active for this round, so even if you're hit with both attacks, the armor applies to both. You take 1
Okay.
less damage than you would normally. The armor
Okay.
counts against the damage you take. So there's still difficulty 5 speed tasks.
Right.
But if you
Just
fail,
wanted to
you
make
only
sure.
take 5 damage per hit.
Okay. Oh, here we go. 15.
You literally
Woo!
matched. 15 is the difficulty. Yes. So,
Holy shit. Okay. Let's
describe
see
what
if I
this
can
ward
do
looks
that.
like to me.
again.
Yeah, describe what the ward looks like to me as you throw up this sort of entropic ward that is going to like deflect or like basically like just
It's like I
save.
just barely phase out, but I'm still present, and the energy kind of like bounces off because I'm not really there, and it's like a thin layer of otherworldliness that deflects things. But it's only if something's actually trying to hit me, like I'm visible. It doesn't work
I love
otherwise.
that. Yeah.
So it
it's
doesn't
almost
work
like-
on inanimate objects. It works if someone is aiming at me.
So I love this because like it's in my mind this now looks like your shoulder turns into almost like prismatic glass transparency, and like the beam refracts through it and goes off at a weird angle. All right, second roll.
Okay, let's see if I do that again. 9.
Okay, on a 9. So the second one, you can't muster the same energy for something that's like a full, like right for center of mass body shot. You take 5
No.
points of damage to your might pool. And now we need 2 rolls from Soy Sauce.
Meanwhile, Bahari's my pockets.
Soy Sauce is a level 2 creature.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say, as an NPC that is associated with you, you can make the rolls. I'm going to go ahead here and say that you can go ahead and, because of Soy Sauce's relatively thin, aquiline, like, silhouette and erratic movements, we'll count this as already eased another step. This is just flat rolls. You can't apply effort or anything since this is another creature. Go ahead and roll a couple of d20s, and if it's a 12 or higher, he'll avoid damage.
All right, here we go. Roll number 1. 6.
Second roll.
Oh,
Roll number 2. 2. Ooh.
Soy Sauce is going to take... Now, does Soy Sauce have... I'm going to say he has armor. I'm just going to say he has,
Yeah.
just armor of 2. He's got, rough skin. So 2 points off each. He still is going to take a total of 8 points of damage.
Oh no, soy sauce.
What's soy sauce's might like?
So as a level 2 creature, as a target number of 6 and 6 health.
Oh no.
Soy Sauce is going to be immobilized from the damage. Not,
look at his
killed
boy.
outright, but is going to... just going to,
Oh.
start toppling off and drifting down and kind of impacting against the seafloor. As at this point, your pursuers will be able to catch up with you if you don't make another, if you don't figure out another alternative. For Calliope and Bunk, the two of you are trying to figure out a way out of this facility without encountering too much resistance. Go ahead and tell me what you do to try and do that.
Are there any foot infantry near us that can be snuck up on?
Snuck up on. These, if you were able to make so they're all going to basically have actions against them hindered by 1 step because they're moving in groups and are covering each other's 6s. So their normal base difficulty is 2. To sneak up on them would be a speed task difficulty 3. To basically stealth your way up close enough to try and adversely interact with any one of them.
Oh, I mean,
So
I'm not going to be doing it, but...
Oh, don't worry about it. I got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam, I'll take that. If Calliope like nods
Can I like spot
towards
them out and scan to see if there's any nearby that might...
So you want to like you said you want to scan if there's like to sure, you know, actually your scan ability, can it pass through like layers of material?
That it can.
Great. Let me say this then. If you want to instead each make a basically like the equivalent of like a check on your stealthiness, this would be difficulty 3 difficulty 3 speed task. However, if you would like, I would say we can use your scan ability as an asset if you want to basically take your turn to do that. You could like pinpoint a specific stairwell, or I guess it wouldn't be stairwells necessarily since you just swim up ramps, but like or like, you know, like elevator style sort of like lift shafts. You could like scan one of those to see if the coast is clear on that particular one. We can count that as an asset. So
I think we're trying to find 2 guys. I think.
Oh, okay. In that case,
Can you have Calliope just like sort of highlight them both for me, and I can just take them down?
Yeah, you could like you can paint targets.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying.
Perfect. So you use scan ability. We'll count that as an asset to lower your stealth check difficulty from 3 to 2. So Trout, if you want to have Bunk make that level 2 speed task, you'd be able to close that distance and find like 1 or 2 somewhat isolated like pair of people from a fire team.
So is this a roll to sneak up on an attack, or just to get up close enough to attack?
Just to get up close, and then you tell me what you do.
I'm also going to ping Berengari and Bahari and say, Bunk and I are together. How are you doing?
Oh, it's bad. It's really, really bad.
Okay. We're going to make our way to you as quick as possible. Just hang tight and keep moving.
I got soy sauce.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, you don't hear that. You destroyed your comm. So
Yeah, my copy's gone. Yeah. It was a great idea until Calliope reminded me that friendship's more important. Yeah. So Adam, I'm gonna pull my pistol and shoot one, and then I would like to run up the side of the wall and like clock the other one with the spear. So however, like I don't really know if I need to be stealthy to use a gun, because
sure.
I'm just gonna
okay, so let's say this. If you want to get up to basically like sure. You're going to basically like not use stealth at this point. So this is going to be a difficulty 2 speed attack to fire at short range.
I mean, it just kind of seems more like what they do. Like, yeah, speed difficulty 2. Yeah, I'm gonna use. I've got speed to spare, so I'm gonna lose another point in speed and difficulty 1 to fire with the pistol on one of them.
Yep.
That's a 17.
17. So that deals 4 points of damage. On top of +1 because it's 17, so 5 points of damage.
Yeah.
Which counteracts the armor. So you have basically shorn off half of this infantry's health with a single blow. And if you go ahead and give me one more speed difficulty 2 to see if you can move again in a sort of pseudo initiative here before they get to retaliate to you.
I will lower that difficulty again by one more time.
Just clipping through your speed pool. Okay, go for it.
I still have 17 points, man. I'm fine.
Yeah, I know. It's wild.
What?
That's a 7 success.
7. Okay, success.
So
you
actually,
get to move
if you
again.
don't,
So, like,
yeah, if you
got
don't
your
mind,
surprise attack, and then you get to move again. Yeah.
So I shoot the guy, and then I'm going to drive the salamander spear between his shoulder blades to try and finish that one off.
Okay, yeah, go for it. This is again speed or might, your choice. Difficulty 2.
Oh, that was just a roll to see if I got to move twice. Okay, sure.
Yeah, that was your initiative roll.
All right, clip it down to 16 speed, and we will make that difficulty 1 because I would like to win the game. It's a 16.
16, absolutely. I'm gonna say like, yeah.
So
you straight up just like bury the spear in his back and like ride it to the ground as he
I just look up at his friend and I say like, that was long range. You want to see what short range looks like?
He was in the middle of like whipping around and trying to like pull his like shoulder strap mounted like rifle up into place, but like you've already got gun point blank pointed at him before he can pull the rifle up. I would say that's fun. This is gonna be like a move to intimidate. Let's say like you can go ahead and give me another difficulty 2 speed task here to like see if you can like give me a little flourish of the gun to see like basically like spin it around little gun trick to see if you can.
I've lowered that difficulty as well. That is a 7 for a success.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Drops the gun. Hands up. What do you want?
Your uniform.
You do realize that if I take this off, I will die.
I mean, you can keep the breather.
We will cut away. Bahari and Berengaria. Is there anything that you want to attempt to do here in this kind of dire moment?
We cannot leave soy sauce here after he saved all of us. Bahari wants to try to far step as far as she can get with both of them, like just breaking herself to the point of like getting an aneurysm trying to carry everybody, but she wants to try because she cannot bear the thought of leaving poor soy sauce here, and they can't stay because the enemy is right behind them, and she's already wounded, and this may end badly, but she really wants to try.
Okay, so normally far step is just an activated ability that you use on yourself by expending points, right?
Yep, it's two in my points.
Go ahead and still expend the points, but you have edge and intellect, right?
Yes.
So, okay, so it's 1 point of intellect to make to use the skill. It is going to be, I'm going to say, like, base difficulty here is going to be equal to the combined tier/level of the people you're trying to move, in addition to yourself.
Oh, no.
So you're tier 1, right? But like Berengaria, so that's 1, and then a level 2 shark. So it's difficulty 3 on top of yourself as well. So difficulty 4 if you're trying to move these 3 creatures. So it's a difficulty 4 intellect task to see if this works. Yeah. If it does, you will be able to overclock your ability enough to like basically like it's effectively like creating a Mass Effect field around everybody so that you're like lowering your effective mass. Yeah. Okay, let's see if you can master biotics.
And that if it works, the enemy will have disappeared from their point of view. They will have no idea where we are, and we'll be like as far as Bahari can see behind another structure. They'll have no way to track us. There's nothing. They'll just be like, the hell? So let's see if it works.
Okay. Difficulty 4 intellect task to see if you can pull off this sort of like stealthy maneuver.
Is there a way that I can help here?
This is not something that like, unless you have an ability to like manipulate this sort of like same phase like magic, I don't know if there's a way you could actually materially
I put my hand on Bahari's heart. You love this.
If you're able to tap into the unconscious ability that Berengaria has, the frustrating part is Berengaria actually could lend a strength to this, but she doesn't know how to do it yet.
So yeah,
I know, it's so sad.
As you don't have like an ability you can leverage, I'm gonna say that there's no material way you can help beyond moral support. So a 12 or higher will succeed.
Okay.
Oh, would I?
I rolled a 1.
Oh no.
Okay. Wait, I'll use my XP here.
Excellent. Okay.
I think Berengaria sees that Bahari is shaken in this moment, and there is a moment between us where Berengaria takes in a deep breath, stills herself, and she does put her hand right on your heart. And There's just something about her palm that is warm and comforting. The presence of another being here in this moment with you, close and trusting you with their entire being in this dire moment. And Berengaria says to you, "It's gonna be okay. You've got this. We'll be out of here in no time."
Reroll. Difficulty.
Come on.
Another being that Bahari is extremely fond of and really wants to save so badly. Okay.
I don't have any more XP, so please don't.
I know! I'm so sorry!
Oh my god!
There's no way. A nat 20
Everyone,
chat.
take your invisible glasses off. It can't be.
My god. Okay.
My God.
Chat, a nat 1 just turned into a nat 20.
Oh
The
my
power
god.
of Berengaria, laying of hands, the
You
laying
got
of
to
hands.
believe in the power of Danny.
Danny.
Yes.
Danny giveth and Denny taketh away. Okay, so you not only succeed, go ahead and give me like a flourish with which you succeed in such a way that you put yourself at a significant advantage moving forward.
Okay, after Berengaria touches Bahari, she suddenly feels like she's in tune with all of the coralite veins around them. And Bahari hasn't even started using her active ability yet. So she's looking at Berengaria like she suddenly gained an understanding of how Berengaria connects to the coralite around them.
Oh.
And she doesn't have a word for it, but she somehow feels like she knows the potential that Berengaria has within her to do more than she ever thought she could. And she's not only giving her the mental strength and reinforcement because she believes in her, but also there is just that little extra bit that Bahari really needed to feel how strong she could be and how to create an impenetrable shield around them so that they could all be moved out of there and leave no trace. I'm talking when she wraps the field around them, it nullifies all the coralite around the area. Like the area is cleansed. Like there's no sign of the taint of the Valthuran energy in the soil around them. The plants feel better once Berengaria and Bahari's powers have been used in that area. And after they move, it's like this is the cleanest spot of ocean there was. And so when the Valthurans come to check, they find a disturbing amount of nothing.
Oh yes, so much, an almost suspicious amount of nothing.
Yeah, they're like, what the? So now that they've landed, they're in their new area, and weirdly, Bahari should be exhausted, and she's still in so much pain from the shot, but she doesn't feel that normal amount of, oh God, I've just done so much energy, because something Berengaria did helped her tap into the coralite around them so that she doesn't feel the same kind of tiredness that she used to. And she doesn't understand exactly how, but she's starting to realize that there's definitely a deeper connection happening.
That's incredible. In rapid succession, Bahari, you realize now you've tapped into like this sort of two sides of the coin of the potential of coralite. You watched as its corruption like created a singularity that consumed matter and left it just completely empty and destroyed. And you also saw the ways that if interacted with in a more harmonious fashion, you can actually like leave a place better than you found it. And we're going to take this moment as you basically enter like a space between spaces as your consciousnesses are aware of the fact that your pursuers have arrived and moved on, and you can actually, anywhere within a long range, reappear. All three of you completely out of sight of any pursuers. And we're going to take that moment here to break, and we will be back in a little bit here if we get some water, get some stretching done, and we're going to see what happens in the aftermath here as everyone seems to have maybe secured escape from this no-win situation. So, all right, we'll see you when you get back.
Thank you so much. Be back in about 5 minutes, everybody.
5 minutes.
Swim. And we are back to the latter half here of our session of Brine and Blight. We're going to rejoin our now four heroes here. One a little MIA after having his mech suit have 3 massive holes blown in it, and then actually like disappeared into a quantum singularity. So, sorry.
We're just little kids.
Whoops. However, when we last left off, Bahari and Berengaria, after being on the receiving end of a full volley of heavy artillery fire from a pair of hammerhead mechs, the true terrible might of the Empire bearing down on them, they barely surviving the blows, their shark mount grievously wounded in the assault, came out the other side through a miraculous combination of their energies, of their powers, the calming influence, and the sort of beneficent aura of Berengaria and her connection to the natural like stream of consciousness and life in the ocean, giving Bahari the strength and the willpower to perform nothing short of a miraculous feat of,
it's called friendship.
Friendship
yeah,
and
friendship.
Magic. Friendship is magic. And so the 3 of you have rematerialized elsewhere. Soy Sauce down for the count. Has another pair of pretty brutal looking scars. Nothing you can't see to in good time, Berengaria, but for now, not gonna be kind of like sprinting anywhere anytime soon. So as the 3 of you kind of hunker down for a moment and wait for your moment to escape, let's resolve specifically what happens now with Calliope and Bunk. As the 2 of you, we're open on you. Basically, Bunk, you have convinced a Valthuran Marine, to hand over his sort of like scuba wetsuit. He was able to keep his own rebreather, but is did you leave him to his devices? Did you like knock him out, hog tie him? Like, what did you do to this guy?
I told him that one sure way to make sure you don't die underwater is to go back topside and never come back.
Okay, you put the fear of God in this man, and now you have.
Also, I want your glider.
He doesn't have access to these personal submersible devices, these sort of like almost like individual like hand sort of like glider devices, similar to like something out of like Nausicaa and the Valley of the Winds. Like you hold on to like these sort of like handles, and there's like a propeller or like propulsion device that just kind of like.
As he's swimming away in his skivvies, I shout, "Also, I want your glider." I don't have one.
What are you talking about? Yeah, you've got.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
Calliope, they don't got a glider.
As you're like just gradually like basically donning this guy's wetsuit, which is way too big for you, but luckily we go by Evangelion rules, so you hit a little button and it cinches to your body shape. You do have to cut a little bit out the back for your tail.
I will give Calliope the not bloody one because I did kind of muss one up. And
yes. So you have basically the disguise itself is decent. The fact that you, Bunk, look absolutely nothing like the human Marines in terms of silhouette, and the fact you have a long lizard tail will maybe hinder stealth checks, but we'll go ahead.
Something.
We're gonna.
I also put the helmet down. Yeah.
So we're gonna basically try and cover this in a single roll. For the 2 of you.
Yeah.
I'm going to say base difficulty is 2. Increased by 1 step per squadron that you have to pass by to get out of here. And I'm gonna actually roll for that. So let's see how many squadrons you're going to encounter.
I don't like when you roll dice.
Oof.
Okay, that's 3 more. So there's going to be
It's fine.
5 instances effectively of points of tension here. So this is going to be a difficulty 5 speed check to see if you can move through this environment without drawing any attention to yourselves. From a distance, seen darkly down a cavernous hallway, or if you move quickly enough through a crowd or through the debris, the disguises that you have donned, be it as it is, may help somewhat. So I'll say we'll count that as an asset. These are so let's say difficulty 4 for each of you. Difficulty 4 speed task to see if you can get out of here without being accosted or apprehended or anything of the sort. I'm going to need it from each of you here.
Okay.
All right, I'm just blowing through my speed pool, but I will knock that down.
Also.
All right, so I'm at difficulty 4 now?
It's difficulty 4, yeah.
It's terrifying. Okay.
Yep.
That is a failure with an 8.
Okay, and then one from Calliope as well.
Failure with an 8.
Oh, identical failures.
Wow. Twins.
I'm going to have each of you can go ahead and take an experience point as I move into a GM intrusion.
Thank you.
Don't thank him.
Please do not thank me. You're just encouraging me. So, the two of you are attempting to sidle your way out. Unfortunately, you come upon a situation where there's a bit of a bottleneck. This is actually near where the two of you congregated in your very first meeting in our unaired prologue session, where all of you came near the refinery and actually ended up breaking into one of the buildings through a sort of like ventilation latch. You're near that sort of hangar bay at this point. Unfortunately, the only entryway that is intact enough for you to go in or out at this point, you're basically almost home free, completely under like lock and key and guard. A full squadron of 12 Valthuran Marines are setting up a perimeter and kind of delegating orders to basically like fan out through this area and just secure and detain anyone remaining in the space.
You regretting coming back for me yet?
Yeah.
Not quite yet. We'll see when I die.
So, as you have basically 12 of these individuals fanning out, you have seconds to react before at least one of them has line of sight on you. What do you do?
We're still in the refinery right now?
You are inside the sort of like hangar bay that is where like cargo submersibles would enter to basically like bring supplies. Like this is where a lot of like new shipments of tools and like structural materials would come in. So it's like a large garage area, and there is a big like bay door that is open to the exterior. You can see out onto this sort of area where the protests have been taking place. So it is a disheveled, like rubble-strewn mess out there, but you can see it. That's home free, but there are 12 Marines that are fanning out through this area. At least 3 posted up at that entrance, and the others moving through to basically see if they can find any stragglers or other sort of workers that they could basically detain for seditious activity.
Want to take me prisoner? It's kind of a go-to move for our group at this point. You look Valthuran still, more or less.
That I do. Okay, and
yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna make it look like I broke your eye, and I'm gonna fake punch Calliope in the broken eye already to make it look like I did it.
Yeah, and you're making like a show of it. Yeah.
There was maybe a little too much pepper on it, but I didn't go to hurt you.
You throw like a haymaker. The two of you stumble out into clear view. One of you.
Get the hell off me!
You're wearing a bloodied, like basically like a mockery of their military uniform, and you are clearly a lizard folk. Calliope, with the elements of disguise you're wearing at this point, you could pass for like a disguised, fully disguised in full uniform, visor tinted. So yeah, like I'm gonna say
he's like, "Oh, damn you!" With a fist in the air.
Damn you!
Damn you!
Yeah. Okay.
A little harder. Damn you!
One thing I'm gonna do is, given the idea by Bunk earlier, Calliope has no use for this gun. So, can they overclock it, get the core light unstable, so that it becomes an explosive?
You want to do my favorite thing from Star Trek, where you overload a phaser and set it
Yep.
on the ground. And yeah, okay, absolutely.
And it makes a little ringing noise, and then you ruin 10 forward.
Yeah, incredible. Yes, so in order to do this, this is going to be a sort of like technological acumen check. This is going to be an intellect task. Now you're going doing this especially on this short notice, without it being obvious what you're doing. That's going to hinder it. It's going to already be difficult. I'm going to say this is going to be like secret agent level proficient stuff.
No, but I'm using leisure domain to make it look like I'm wrestling the gun from you.
Nice.
That cancel. That ability is a thing you have that you can just do. And anyone here will believe it. Okay, yeah, that cancels out the hindrance. That takes this down to a level 5 intellect task. If you can pull this off, I mean,
okay,
then you'll be able to create this improvised explosive without breaking fiction.
Can I use my technological acumen to take that down to a 4?
Oh, is that a skill you have? You're trained in mechanical engineering?
Mechanical repair.
Yeah, hell yeah. Take it down to a 4.
Okay, 4. Easy.
Difficulty
4?
Yeah,
it's nothing.
All you gotta do is...
It's nothing. And then I'm going to use effort.
Okay, applying effort. Take the requisite points from your intellect pool and then lower the target number down to 9 as it's now at level 3.
Come on.
17.
17. Fantastic. Okay. You two play out this charade for me while this like dozen or so Marines stand kind of like slackjawed. I was like, what the hell? You've just like thrown like a fake haymaker and like you're tussling on the ground.
I'm going back to jail, dragged by no tin can, get the hell off me! And I punch Clive in the face.
Hands off, you traitor scum.
Wow, I'm so happy you already succeeded. Like,
you fool. And Calliope is like trying to find the words while also twisting knobs and like and their hand is turning into various tools and welding and shit.
I've definitely loaded dice.
Yeah. The thing is, I've overclocked one of these pistols before to break a big old prison apart, so I'm like doing everything I can to help while beating the crap out of Calliope.
Yeah, incredible.
That
people
one
are like
actually hurt.
They're like slowly like swimming over. Like again, part of their military uniform is like literal like flippers on their feet. So like they're just slowly like wading over to you. Rifles kind of like not aimed, kind of like at the ready. Like they're trying to scope out what's happening. The sort of captain of this particular unit shouts at you, kind of like taking a higher vantage, swimming up about 10 feet, and kind of like looking down at the situation. Like, are you going to just disengage? Disengage. We can get a shot. Just we can't get a clear shot unless you disengage from the target.
I punch one more time and go, Valthuran Buffoon says, what?
Captain, they're armed. Here. I've taken their gun. And I tossed them the gun.
Oh my god.
And like the two of you still making like you're like rolling around and like locked. All of your like
the second I'm like listening in my head like 3, 2, 1, and I'm gonna try and like push both of us to the ground as it blows.
I need you specifically, Bunk, because you're kind of taking point on this. Go ahead and give me a speed defense task of an equal level to the one that was. So yeah, difficulty. It was 3, right? When you actually like. So it was a level 3 success. That means it's going to be a level 3 to avoid.
I am trained in speed defense, so it's automatically a level 2 instead, and I will use effort to lower it to 1.
Okay, 3 or higher will do it for you.
Perfecto. A 5. I'm glad I did that.
You, yeah, okay.
Yeah, just so in my head.
Yeah, you time it just right. It's basically by memory. This is because you're just this kind of person, something that you have like committed to like in your internal sort of like
blown up
rhythm.
So many guns.
Blown up so much shit. So yeah, you just like okay, and and you roll like several rotations, the two of you away, as the gun slowly just kind of floats limply among this assembled dozen or so Marines. As two move into like basically like apprehend it, basically like grab it, confiscate the weapon. The one who grabs it notices only at the last second. They're like, "Oh, it's rather hot to the touch." Oh no! It's like, and in the chaos that ensues, as at least like 3 or 4 of them are just like, I mean, we're talking like 3rd-degree coralite plasma burns. There's like a blinding flash that's going to have the rest of them like incapacitated for some time. The two of you can just kind of like get on out.
Now, Adam, surely
yes.
with a unit of that many soldiers, they had to be transported here somehow. They didn't all swim here.
And
did one of them drive some sort of automobile or motorcycle?
Outside, you can see that since this was a full fire team with a captain on deck, that the captain's personal submersible is here. So you can just
you get
hijack
a full,
this if you... Yeah, you can go ahead and just grab onto that. You can like rev the throttle, and I mean with Calliope in tow, the two of you can.
Yeah. As Calliope tries to swim there, it's like they get stuck by like an invisible iron wall as their eye flashes red, and they turn around because I'm assuming those soldiers aren't fully dead yet.
Oh no, like a lot of bad injuries, but no one's killed.
Yeah, and they try to shake free, and what they do is they're gonna reach into their arm and just rip out basically a burn ointment and toss it there. So
it is an imperative in your programming. You can't not do something. And this, let's see if this.
Do I figure out like what's going on here? Because Calliope stopped. Like,
yeah. I'm gonna say that we're gonna treat this like a use of your healing touch ability, intellect difficulty 2, to see if this works. Basically, we're gonna see if this is a successful attempt to assuage someone's pain. If your healing touch skill works, then the most badly burned Valthuran is going to receive a very nice burn ointment, and your imperative will be fulfilled. Okay, perfect. Yep, you succeed, and your programming allows you to escape. And the two of you take off on this little trail of bubbles in your wake.
I'm immediately removing any kind of license plate or identification while we drive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're looking to like, you got to hotwire this thing. You got to make sure there's no like tracking chips or anything like that. Yeah, go ahead and give me a difficulty 3.
Lizard climbing all over this thing while it's in motion, just checking. Yeah.
Difficulty 3 intellect check to see if you can be certain.
My int is solo, but we'll take it down with effort. Ooh, actually,
honestly,
if you'd rather help me, that'd be better.
Yeah, it'd be helpful. Sure. Let's take it down to a 2.
Come on, Bunk. Don't mess this up. Oh no.
You are not certain. 100%. You can't find anything on this that would imply that it's got any kind of like GPS tracking, any geolocation like technology on it, or anything to that sort. So you basically just have to go on faith that you're good.
Where the hell is my best friend, Risubi?
Where is Risubi? So I'm going to say that Calliope, since your comms are still in order, you would be able to communicate with Bahari and Berengaria to the extent that you'd be able to regroup. And we're going to go ahead and just kind of turn the clock forward just a little bit to when you've all kind of regrouped together and can kind of survey the damage now that you've passed out of immediate danger.
We should probably park far away just in case there is GPS in this thing.
Yes.
I have a lot of trouble leaving the car.
From Berengaria, I forget, does your class have you taken a specific ability that would lead to you like using that ability to tend to the wounds of or to the care of a creature?
No, mechanically I'm not a healer.
Then in that case, I'll say this is going to be I'll basically say half the damage that soy sauce took is equal to the difficulty of the check.
Okay.
So he took 8 points of damage. you need to succeed on a level 4 intellect task in order to get him enough, like patched up enough to swim slowly away, so that you can all kind of like beat your hasty retreat.
Okay. I do have understanding, where I can study the creature object and gain an asset.
You sure as hell have an understanding with soy sauce. The
Okay,
two of you have been through it.
If you would like, you can also, if you want to phone Calliope, could walk you through surgery.
I would say this isn't necessarily surgery so much as it is.
But like first aid.
Let's say you can help when you arrive, basically, to their location. They are able to talk you or with like landmarks to like, we're around here, and like they're far removed. Like they are like, I'd say like 100 meters away from the backside of the refinery. Like there's a whole, they're like almost outside the crater in which the city is constructed. That was a wild move. So like you don't know how they got there, but you track them down and you use some of that other burn ointment and you can help, let's say, to take this down from 4 to 3 to 2.
Woo, okay. I'll use a level of effort as well.
Fantastic. Let's take it down to level 1.
19.
19.
Okay,
Let's go.
fantastic. So normally that's like +3 damage. I'll say you heal 3 points. So you basically like with the application of the sort of topical treatment and your particular brand of TLC, you manage to get soy sauce moving at about half efficiency. So with that,
I would like to like flavor it as like Berengaria props open her opalescent clamshell briefcase and is rummaging around, essentially takes out a big band-aid and just like puts it on the injury and gives it a little smooch. Mwah. And then Calliope comes by and just like gives the actual ointment, and Berengaria's like, oh. Heals it back.
Bedside manner. Yeah.
Oh! It sticks worse because we're underwater.
Yep.
All right. Well, so as you all make your withdrawal after this from the scene of the battle,
Where are we even hiding?
yeah, you're left to wonder where you can go, where is safe, what exactly is going to become of the Dorsal District. I mean, even though you gave it your all, you put yourselves in the line of fire for the protection of the innocent, you risk life and limb for the cause of the workers and for the community, and in the end, it seemed like there was no standing against the overwhelming force of the Imperial retaliation. I mean, the residents of the district, some were no doubt injured or worse in the crossfire. You all took several shots that like threatened your lives. Dozens of the people assembled there were likely detained, although your influence in splintering the crowd off into several other groups to start kind of raising protest elsewhere doubtless left the Empire's security forces spread pretty thin. So you greatly mitigated the harm that could have been done to a single contained concentrated crowd, but nevertheless, and the refinery and all 4 of its main reactors now stand occupied. Their operations will now be placed fully under military jurisdiction, and only time will tell what this means for the people of the district, and particularly for the people who once made their meager livings working for the Empire's machinery of extraction before today. Riots and protests will no doubt spread continually throughout Marabas, marking this as a day when something started, something big, the scope of which no one can quite conceive of yet, but which certainly won't be hastily quashed, as Valthuran would no doubt prefer. Still, Risubi. The hammerhead tore through his mech like tissue paper, and on the assumption that he escaped, he's nonetheless still missing. And lest you forget, his hideout might well be compromised, given that it seems Detective Inspector Damien Belisar seemed to have tailed you from that location. The situation could be better, is what I'm saying.
Could be better. Could be better.
But we're definitely together, and Bahari definitely has snacks.
Yep.
So
I have lots of snacks.
What snacks do you provide everyone as you like kind of like licking your wounds try and retreat from the Dorsal District?
Well, unfortunately my supplies were slightly depleted due to being shot and like having to make a quick getaway, but I still have some really good seaweed rolls. I have a teriyaki flavor, and I also have original if you don't want something that's too sweet. We've got, let's see, what else do I have in here? Digs through the bags. Let's see. Ooh, I've got some sweet flag. It's really yummy. So when you break it open, it has this oil inside, and it's really good. You can have it hot or cold. We don't have a stove here. Everyone is staring, and I'm like, I promise, it's really tasty.
At this point, you've all kind of like, you have meandered away, giving a wide berth to where a lot of the action seems to have taken place. I mean, if there are no objections, let's say you basically have like holed up in like a kind of a trash-strewn alleyway about like on like the far west end of the dorsal district. You're basically trying to circle your way back down to try and avoid downtown, just to kind of like get your bearings. So you're kind of perched up here. There's some dumpsters kind of like bolted to the seafloor. Some kind of fizzled out old neon signs from some derelict business or other. Calliope. Your internal proximity sensors start going haywire. Like something's coming and it's coming fast. And it seems to be roughly like person sized on the larger side of that.
Can I didn't want to interrupt you. Can I say something before this?
Yeah.
While we're like leaving, I did want to use anecdote. And so over the next hour, whoever listens to my story, basically I want to lift the spirits of the group. Like, we're all pretty hurt. We've all just been through some pretty traumatic stuff. And essentially what Berengaria wants to say is, right now, it's really important that we stay safe. We can't really do anything if we're not here. So if you have to get out, get out. Don't stay. And essentially towards the task of keeping yourself safe, you'll get an asset, basically.
For the next hour, if any of you attempt to avoid harm's way through stealth, through like, you know, like speeding, running away, if you choose to disengage when you could engage, that task will be eased by one step.
Sick. I'm also going to heal because Stella Berengaria has one might pool, one in the might pool, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, level 2 intellect task to see if you can do a little bit of restoration there.
We'll put some juice in that. We'll do an effort.
Okay.
Let's make that a 1. Hooray!
And on a 6, you succeed. So go ahead and roll that d6 to see how much she's going to recover there to that might pool.
Can I tell y'all what my pools are right now?
Oh, I'd love
Please.
to know.
1, 2, and 7.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
Holy moly. Can you also like quick rest? Please rest.
Yeah, I'm also going to do that for me. So I'm going to get 6
let's
points
say
back.
that you can take your first or your second rest takes 10 minutes the second rest of the day. So if you want to, you can use up to your first 2. The third rest takes an hour. There's not enough time for that, but you can use up to your first 2 heals at this point if you feel you need to.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes. One more time, Adamant. It's a d6 plus 1.
Plus 1. It's a d6 plus your character's tier, and you're all still first tier. Although
whoa, 6.
You're all taking some steps.
Oh wow.
Hey, I never roll good on d6s. This is a red letter day.
All right.
Thank you, Adam.
So,
thank you.
So in this moment, yes, Calliope, those proximity sensors are flaring up. You become aware of a relatively large life form approaching your group's position directly, with some haste. Not going to provoke a roll here. You turn and you see that there is a silhouetted figure swimming somewhat clumsily, as though deeply exhausted, toward you from the entrance of the alleyway that you hid yourselves in here just to catch your breath.
Calliope instantly says, is finishing up on Berengaria's shoulder and says something's coming.
I immediately launch forward and post up with a gun in front to protect my friends.
One hand for, please, hold on.
Just wait.
That's a familiar voice to you, at least, Bunk, as
What
Howl.
the hell?
A
How? What?
walrus-like merfolk engineer who, until today's events, worked third shift at the refinery. He's approaching. He's looking haggard. He's sporting a bunch of scrapes and bruises. He's got this heavy, like, kind of Carhartt-style jacket that's, like, ripped up in several places. He's carrying something in his arms. He's still a far ways off. What do you say?
How? What's going on? How do you know where to find us?
I came from...
You heard, old timer?
I'm fine, but they were trying to force their way into the bar, and she...
Rhoda! I start running towards Howl.
And he's still trying to explain himself as he, like, reveals that what he's holding is like wrapped up in like a tarp. She's like unconscious, but it's Rhoda. And he sets her down in the alleyway here.
I saw you. I caught a glimpse. They were weird. You gotta paint that gun a less obvious color, because I saw that banana yellow, and I just came rolling. And you're fast. You're also fast.
I take Rhoda from... Come on, y'all, help me out.
Yeah.
Come on, Ma, you're all right.
She's unconscious. If you want more information about what's affecting her here, I mean,
Calliope's gonna go do a scan, a full medical scan of her.
Full medical scan. Her pulse is irregular. You can see, like, the display pops up with the sort of, like, like keeping track of the heartbeat. It's weak and irregular. She has severe scoring from 3rd-degree coralite burns across like 10% of her body.
Calliope, what the hell those monsters do to her?
She's still got that big multi-tool backpack that she keeps for, like, it can be a vacuum, it can be like a gutter cleaner, and she's like, she wears this around all the time, but she seems to have this jury-rigged this mess of different repurposed parts and, like, attached some kind of, like, weapon attachment on the end. It's like this, it seems to be some kind of, like, piston, like, pneumatic, like, blade attachment. Howell's still going on about it.
They were trying to force their way into the bar. I was just getting away from all the hullabaloo. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. But there was a bunch of kids, and they saw me through the window in the bar. They're all holed up in there. And I came looking after her, and they said they told me that she said to wait in the back room and don't open the door for nobody. And so I found her. She was slumped against an old silo not far from there. She was awake at first, I think. She started to say something, but please tell me you can help her.
We can, right here.
Can I help you real quick?
Yeah.
I'd like to use my understanding to study Rhoda. Essentially, is Rhoda going to be okay? Like, Calliope knows the medical, like, things about Rhoda, but just as a person, like, as a living being, looking at her, seeing her condition.
She's in shock right now and clearly sustained, like, injuries from... She wasn't the direct target of weapons fire, but has received several blows to non-vital areas. If Howell's story is correct, she seems to have been trying to just draw attention away from the Lonely Light, where she had been kind of making sanctuary for those who were not fit to fight.
If Bahari's okay with it... Oh, sorry, finish with Stella. I'm so sorry.
With your understanding, if she does not receive prompt medical attention, her life may be in danger, but it's not like it's not too dire yet. She just needs some help fast.
I will relay all of that to Calliope, and it counts as an asset.
That fucking rules. Okay.
I'm gonna, if it's okay with Bahari, Bunk will put a hand on your shoulder and say, we're the closest thing she got to family. I can't do much as a doctor, but we could talk to her while Calliope helps.
While you do that, can you apply some of this, and Calliope will give an antibiotic foam to Bunk, and in the meantime takes off the backpack and says, Bahari, can you help me with this?
Yes, of course.
And
Oh,
we're gonna
Sorry, go ahead.
we're gonna fashion a medical device right now that is going to use coralite in some ways. We're going to supercharge it with this device.
Bunk is helping
Okay.
lay like a platform sort of bed for Rhoda, like they've done this in their sleep a million times, laying out a sick bed.
Okay.
Yeah, it is eerie how like Bunk seems to have started doing that without thinking about it. Like they just started doing it as though it's like an old memory, like a thing they used to do reflexively. And I'm gonna say that with that, so basically, this is someone who's beyond help from a healing touch. This isn't like, oh, they hit 1 hit point. This is going to be something where she was hit by a hammerhead mech at some point, a stray plasma bolt from one of their guns, which means that the healing task is going to be equivalent to like it's almost like you right now are doing the healer equivalent of fighting one of those things. Their base difficulty is 6.
Okay.
The understanding takes it down to 5. So this is, and then you're receiving help from all your friends arrayed here. So that's going to take it down to 4. As of right now, it is a difficulty 4 intellect task to see if you can fashion a device that will perform the medical procedure you need to do to keep these burns from festering.
And will that be an asset for it if we finish it?
Oh, no, what I'm saying is it's not even an asset.
Okay.
I'm saying if you finish it, then
That's
you
fine.
succeed on healing her, basically. So
So
this is a 1 roll thing.
difficulty 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
Is me and Bahari just talking to Rhoda and keeping her spirits up able to help at all here? She's in
And
shock,
helping
but not.
fix the machine.
That's
that
part of
helping?
your I'm saying is like everyone moving in and helping her
Okay.
counts as a help action. So basically like you have an asset
Sorry to
from-
wheel and deal.
No,
We just love her.
That's what this game is about. Berengaria provided an asset with understanding. Everyone is providing help to calm and stabilize the situation. That's an asset. This is taking it down from a 6 to a 4. So as far as what Calliope can do, what's the next move?
Okay. Right now we're making a device to help stabilize her. That's down to 4. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I can add to it before I just pull the trigger and roll right now.
I mean,
We
there's
got XP
effort,
to help you.
but-
We'll be there to help if.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, there's gonna be this. We're just gonna roll it.
Yeah.
1 effort to roll.
1 effort. So okay. So
Takes
it's
it
now
down to a 3.
3.
A 9 or higher will do it.
19.
On a 19. Okay. That's fantastic. Describe what you do. We'll resolve the effect.
So Bunk and Berengaria are next to her. Bunk applying the ointment where they can, and Bahari and Calliope are just hyper focused over this device that we've taken off of Rhoda's backpack, and we're just twisting around gears. There's already like a lot of functionality built into it, but we managed to make just a medical device that will help stabilize the coralite in Rhoda's body.
Mhm.
To do so, we Calliope, without even looking, like reaches over it and grabs Bunk's gun and then just breaks it in half. Oh, the one of the guns that is made
Yeah.
by that belongs
yeah.
to the soldiers, just breaks it in
like the
half.
sidearm, yeah.
Yeah, pulls it out while they're doing something with this hand. They're getting this and help, and says, Bahari, if you can hold this, and we need to adjust until we stabilize it. We're twisting dials, we're adjusting arms, and then from that we have a hose, and Calliope takes this out, sprays it with an antiseptic, and gently inserts it into a vein on Rhoda. And once this machine starts whirring, Calliope gently pushes aside Bunk and Berengaria and starts working on the burns, since these are open wounds that are scorched. Essentially, Calliope has to like start doing a full-on surgery.
Yeah.
Because they can't just suture it right away. They start like exposing the tissue. They start inserting medicine wherever possible, and then they start suturing up the body. But the entire time, they tell Bunk, keep a track on that machine because it's monitoring her heart rate right now, and it's just like a solid 15 minutes of them working without saying anything, and their arms are twisting all over the place in inhuman ways,
shifting and changing, like we're like creating new tools.
I think the entire time Berengaria is just gently stroking Rhoda's head, and just trying to offer a comforting touch and talking lowly. And I'm gonna make you so much kelp.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bunk's just watching the heart rate monitors, saying things like, "Come on, Mom, who's gonna pull my tail back home safe when I get in trouble?"
Just keeps talking to like no one in particular, trying to like thinking that if he explains what happened well enough, somehow it'll help. Bahari, in the middle of this, you're helping, like kind of you're basically just doing what Calliope says you need to do. You're holding this place, putting pressure on that particular spot. In the middle of this, you have an eerie, although not entirely unfamiliar tingling that begins at the base of your skull and seems to just whisper to prompt you to turn and watch the alleyway's entrance. Do you know, actually, make an intellect roll here, level 3, to see if the impulse kind of takes over or not.
Okay. Five.
It's not even like you don't even give thought to it. You just like, you get this tingle. You're like, I need to go look at something. And you just turn. And there, as the tingling turns to buzzing, turns to ringing, you watch as Stygia, the phantom jellyfish, manifests in your line of sight against the harsh light at the edge of the alleyway, as though from the ether growing ever more opaque, the sort of drama mask-like face hewn from ghostly dead coral pulsing with light inside the bell of the jellyfish. And once more, as you flock eyes with this, just like instinctively, the distant voice of your nameless benefactor addresses you as your surroundings all melt away to darkness and the moment disappears.
Did we not previously discuss the futility of directionless revolt? The folly that would be spurning my aid?
First of all, this is not a good time.
There is no other time. And what transpired today is only the beginning. Your part in these events will be wasted, cut woefully short, should you continue to act recklessly, alone, without purpose, without precision.
I felt like I didn't have a choice. Our purpose was to get out of there alive.
The Empire shall brook you no quarter. You cannot afford to have your hand forced, and you cannot afford to show vulnerability. Seek, as we discussed, our mutual friend in the Lepetch district, young Bahari. seek out Milo Finnerty, whom my voice has also reached.
So Milo is expecting me.
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Okay. And what do you want me to do when I meet him?
He will know what to do once you make your purpose clear. If you truly wish to douse the torch and spit in the eye of Empire.
That's all we want to do. But we have to be alive to do it.
Yes, and if you want to do it and live, he will prove vital.
All right. That's going to be our next move as soon as we get Rhoda, okay?
You are yet wise. Your youth does not obscure it. I
Thanks.
expect great things, young Bahari.
I'll
And
do my
the
best.
darkness, and the darkness fades as your vision of Stygia also fades out, like whatever connection was established in that moment.
Was Bahari helping, or have I had to start pressing where Bahari was?
Oh dear.
I'm gonna say Bahari, this transpired over what felt like several minutes.
Oh no.
But you just,
How long
you
was I
just-
gone?
You just zoned out for like 6 seconds, and you were like basically,
Okay.
Calliope has to like kind of like nudge you, like, no, here now, and you're like, oh, you're shaking out of it.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. We need to focus.
Yes, of course.
You're doing great,
Still
though.
not, she's not closed up. What's taking so long?
There's a perforation. I need
Ugh.
organic. Turn around real quick for me, Bunk.
Yeah, grab what you gotta. I don't know if we're compatible.
You're fine. As soon as you do, yeah,
There's a lot of tail scales. You want them?
yeah, Calliope plucks like 4 scales.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And you were like, you sew these scales
Yeah,
like on a micro stitch
sorry.
level. Yeah.
Yeah. Feel like I might have earned it, and Rhoda would agree.
You just laser him back on.
Yeah.
No hot glue gun.
Yeah, Calliope creates a sanitation vacuum and then just uses it to graft a perforated bowel. Yeah.
And you basically like, you apply this, you like final sort of like cold disinfectant spray like the entire affected area.
Mm-hmm.
And then you back off for a moment. She is still, but her breathing settles a little bit. Howl is still talking to no one in particular about how, like, you know, she did so right by the kids and she had them in the back room where it's safe. And, like, after about a minute,
Oh, criminy. Oh. Why do I taste? Tastes like I smoked a pack. Oh my god. What is that?
Well, it's more like the pack smoked you, Rhoda. Calliope's left arm turns into like a Mega Man cannon, and they turn the corner and they just like shoot the medical debris and organic material out.
Gross.
Oh. Okay. So, don't be mad. But, hi, kid. Hey. Bunk. Okay.
Rhoda.
Hi there, Barankaria. Oh my goodness, so good to see you. Where's the big guy? Where's my beefy boy?
Oh.
Oh, this should be. We're working on that.
Yeah, we don't know.
Oh, well.
He's
Well, I
clever,
don't feel-
Ma. He'll make it.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine. So anyway, don't be mad, but I may have played a little bit of the hero for a minute. And, like, I thought I was doing real well. I thought I was doing really good. And then, well, then, like, everything goes white, and now, and the burning, and then the next thing you know, this big lug over here. Hey there, Howell, thanks, you saved my life or something? Okay, we're almost even. Almost. So anyway, long story short, I almost died. How are y'all doing?
Ari just starts crying. just continues to cry.
Yeah.
Trying to choke down, and I told you so. Because I knew that you weren't going to stay out of it, Ma.
You of all people. You don't
gotta
get to
live
say
in
that
it
to
now.
me. No, I did what I had to do. I'm not putting myself out there unnecessarily like some people I know.
I look at Berengaria. I'm very ashamed.
What?
Nothing. As ever, Rhoda's right about everything.
Damn right, kid. So, today could have gone better. Could have gone better. Why don't you get me up to speed?
And we will kind of fade out from here, kind of like pan up into the smoke-strewn, soot-strewn, just kind of like debris-filled sky over the dorsal district. However, I want to fade back in for just a moment. Sometime later, Rhoda's asleep. You've all like moved to at least like a relatively safe location. Do you have any place in mind? Or because like you would definitely have heard through the grapevine at this point that like Vin Marinthos's fighting pit under that giant clam shell, like that ancient like petrified giant clam shell, he's opened it up to like basically like anybody who wants to like it's just through word of mouth. People can come in here if you need to like throw out a bedroll or something and just like get a bite. That's where people are congregating. It's not like well known as like a gathering space, so it seems like it'll be safe for a night. So if you want, you can head there, or otherwise you can find some other place to kind of like hole up for a bit.
There's a chance Subi will go by Vin Marinthos. There might be a chance to connect up.
That's a really good point.
So yeah, you can swing by the fighting pit. We rejoin you all kind of there. So this is some hours later. Rhoda's recovering asleep. Howell went back to the Lonely Light and has been bringing wave by wave some of the sort of like the older people, the children, the people who are just like non-combatants, just kind of like bringing them in, 5, 6 at a time, kind of ferry them back and forth. Most of the district is now like heavily like basically a police state. You have to be careful when and how you move. Everybody's getting stopped and questioned about what happened at the refinery. But Bunk, you're up. And like Calliope, you could be tending to people all over the place. I would assume you're still probably awake. Everybody else. So like, if there's anything you want to kind of like talk about or kind of like decompress about, now would be the time.
Calliope is going to first go over to Bunk and puts a hand on their shoulder and just says, "I'm glad you're here." They're gonna swim away like after that.
Yeah, Bunk doesn't know what to say to that.
And says, "Bahari, coffee on the rooftop?"
I think I could definitely go for a cup of coffee. Yes.
And while they're standing there just waiting for Bahari to come over, Calliope shoots Bunk a look and then like glances over at Berengaria and then just turns around and walks out.
I think Berengaria is just kind of like just kind of sprawled out in a corner, snoring.
Oh.
And I think she has her arm over like some kid that is like unable to connect with their parents. And is just trying to give him some comfort, and they're both just snoozing.
All Bunk will do, because they don't want to wake Berengaria, is remove a completely airtight vial of black sand in a pendant from their neck and place it in Berengaria's hand and close the fist. And then they will try to fix their gun in silence.
Very Bunk thing to do.
Is it nighttime? Are the moons showing and stuff?
At this point, I mean, like it's like early in like late evening, early at night, like maybe like 9-10 p.m. But like, you know, people are exhausted. Yeah, at this point I would say like a lot of people have just kind of like nodded off here and there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say at this point though, before we wrap up, there's a noise, almost like a sort of, it would be like, it's similar to someone knocking at a door, except there is no door here. It's like a clamshell that opens with a series of pneumatic tubes and pulleys, but it's like a massive clearly everyone's a little afraid. The assembled crowds, some people stir from their slumber, some kids start kind of like chattering, whispering, kind of like cowering in the corners. There's no real response. Vin is like out for a bit. No one knows who to look to. Everyone's kind of like looking to you all for like what to do. What's the protocol? How do we proceed?
I grab my pistol and I will go towards the sound, gesturing for everyone else to stay back.
Huh? What was that?
As there's been no response, the pounding stops, and then like a crunching, scraping kind of noise, and as something is forcing the clamshell open. And you can watch as like it's opening just wide enough, forcing the tube system open, as you can see the silhouette of a hammerhead mech.
No!
Stepping inside and then collapsing as it falls inward, toppling over, its leg getting crushed and snapped by the forcing shut of the clamshell. And as the hand falls wide, palm open, it's all of its systems sparking. The cockpit looks empty, but with a psst, it depressurizes, floods, slides open, and out crawls a squirrel. Yeah! And that's where we're gonna end this session.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm so glad that he's okay. Oh.
He stole a mech?
I mean,
I think he killed a mech.
It looks like it's been significantly like sabotaged. All of its like fuel lines have been split apart and like chewed apart. Like he's been crawling through this thing and like full squirrel mode, just like chewing on essential wires and like through. Like,
Imagine it's peanuts. Imagine it's peanuts.
Oh my god!
It is completely dismantled, unusable. Like nothing about this mech is salvageable, as all of its parts have been like dismantled. But it got him here. The last bit of juice is what opened up the everyone else is still freaking out, by the way. No one else is calling.
Yeah.
The four of you feel great, and everyone else is like, what the hell's going on? So we'll pick up there.
Continues to be the coolest motherfucker alive.
No kidding.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh
can
my
I
God.
can I say something? Like as we're kind of like all getting up to like go swarm towards Vesuvi, I think Berengaria sleepily like gets up without realizing there's something in her hand. She lets go, and it rolls underneath the table as she swims forward.
Oh my!
Oh no.
You gotta kill me? Do you have to? Did you have to kill me though?
I'm sorry, it was there, right there. It's so juicy.
It was right there. Yeah, I know.
Perfect. Perfect.
It's gonna
Well,
come back, but
And that
how?
will do it for this week's episode of Brine and Blight. Thank you all for joining us. Wow, I'm riding high. How about y'all?
Oh my
Yeah.
Super good.
Such
Somehow we're
whiplash.
alive.
Wow.
So much.
Seriously. Cannot believe it. What in the world?
We might have named this session the Battle Without and the Battle Within, and that feels
Mm.
true, given
It really
everything.
does.
Oh, I love it.
So, wow. All right. I'm tired. How about y'all?
All right.
This high and now this high.
All right, let's button it up here. We're gonna go around and tell you who we are, where you can find us, and what our favorite part was about this session. And we're gonna start with Z.
Hi, I'm Z or Zach. You can catch me on Twitter at ZachDivs. You can find me here on Tuesdays. You can find me at Bad House RPG on Thursday nights. Favorite part of today's session. These just keep getting better and better. Like, what was my favorite part? I'm gonna steal it. So the rest of you have to think harder. Jay's narrativizing of that nat 1 to nat 20.
Why'd you take it from
You
me?
took
I took
everybody's
it.
star.
I took it. It's mine.
I need to start
So good.
going first.
All right, yeah, just take it for yourself, Stella.
Jay is an incredible storyteller. We're so lucky to have you. Yeah, for real. And I love that as we go on, we start to include each other more and more into like our roles and what we do. And it's just so great. And I've also always loved the Bahari Berengaria dynamic
Mhm.
as much as Bahari loves it. So yeah, huge fan.
I'm gonna go next.
Dang
Hi.
it, I wanted to.
Hi, I'm Stella Luna. Thank you so much for watching this show here with us. Please check out our YouTube. All the previous episodes are on there, and all of our future episodes will be uploaded there as well. Thank you so much. My favorite part... Okay, the bunk Calliope scene. Talking bunk down. You two are just absolutely wizards when it comes to emotional RP. I think my kind of like tempo, like my heartbeat for this entire episode has been like, oh my god, what's going on? Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking cry. Ah! Just the entire episode. And kudos to Adam, of course, for facilitating all of that. But chef's kiss. So good. Jay, you get to go next.
My favorite part has definitely got to be how Adam so skillfully like gets us through a scene. Is there anything else you guys want to do with no indication of what is gonna happen next? And then we're gonna shift the entire playing board, and y'all are not even
However,
like, the howevers are really getting me.
glasses.
However,
And like the picture is painted so perfectly. I feel like I'm literally underwater every time I listen to Adam describe anything. It's magical.
Stop now. You can be done now. It's okay.
Kappa was unfortunately unable to join us for this session. Please follow Christian on Twitter. The link is there in chat. We love you. I'm so
Love you
glad
so
you're
much.
okay.
Despite not being here, was still amazing part of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, even still, Rasubi still managed to be
Your
The legend
presence.
looms large.
Yeah, your presence is felt even in absence. Yeah, miss you so much. Gavin. Can't wait to play with you again.
And Trout.
Ha! Yes. Okay. I'm Trout. Adam and I make TricksyWizard. I want to talk about my favorite part of the session. Everyone's listing a bunch of stuff that already was my favorite stuff, but there's always like 5 favorite things, so we'll find. All of us coming together to bring Rhoda back felt beyond just really important to all of our characters individually, also important to us as a party, and very much an act of revolution is love, which means so much to me. Like, we all came together, pooled our skills, pooled what we knew, and put our hearts into saving someone, like an act of like complete revolution and rejection of fascism. And it felt really important, and it felt really emotional for me to see all of us bringing what we could to save her. So that was a huge moment for me.
Yeah.
And beautifully written, Adam, and beautifully role played by all of you. Really just so special.
Team healing. Yes.
I know.
Adam, you talk.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Adam. I'm the other half of TricksyWizard. Find us at TricksyWizard on all socials, TricksyWizard.com. Comics and illustrations and TTRPG art and this. We do this. I always go last, so it's always like I've got my panic list of my 5 favorite things, and it's like gone. Like, so like, you've claimed all of the things that I loved about this session. I will say, honestly, just I now have such a clear vision of like the web of relationships within this party and how you all relate to each other and your points of tension and the way you play off of them, and you capitalize on every single opportunity, like the scene where like I'm sorry, the dice were on our side tonight when you rolled a failure to try and get to Bunk in time, and like we're a floor above them, and like we 5-old goes west you like you show up and like you're passing in the night, but then but then when Trout, you realized that you couldn't use effort on an intellect roll unless you took a round to use your first healing, so you literally the mechanics dictated that you waited long enough for Calliope to find you, and the way that you took advantage of these, you harmonize between just like what the dice are doing, what the game mechanics are doing, and like you make it like sing with the way that your character relationships, you play with the tension. I mean, the same thing with like specifically, okay, to like get around to my meandering point, the fact that Stella and Jay, the two of you, brought your characters together to literally explore the thematical, the thematic underpinning of what Coralite is in the setting, like its corruption and its purity, it's like creation and destruction, and you just took advantage of like dice rolls to make that theme come to the fore, and it's like, y'all are great. You were so incredible. I'm so lucky to play with you all. So that counts, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
You nailed it.
Thank you so much. And thank you, chat. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everyone on YouTube who is watching this in the future. Hi, future. We will be back with Brine Blight next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Please take care of yourselves and have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye, everybody. Wait, we need a pun.
Oh, fish pun.
Oh, I'll be damned if I'm missing next week's session.
Yes, thank you. Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.